Confidence is not something you are born with. It is a skill you build, a mindset you train, and a habit you practice every single day. In 2026, the world moves faster, challenges are bigger, and opportunities demand more than just talent or luck. Being dangerously confident means having the ability to face fear, make decisions without hesitation, and take bold action while staying grounded in your values. It is about mastering your thoughts, controlling your emotions, and showing up in life with clarity and purpose. This guide will take you step by step through practical actions you can start immediately. You will learn how to strengthen your mindset, overcome fear, build resilience, and create routines that push you forward consistently. You will discover ways to make better decisions, protect your energy, and develop habits that amplify your focus and productivity. Each chapter is designed to give you actionable strategies that are easy to apply and impactful enough to change the way you approach life. By the end of this journey, you will not just feel more confident, you will act with confidence. You will inspire respect naturally, handle setbacks with strength, and take control of your life in ways you might not have thought possible. This is a practical, no-nonsense roadmap for anyone ready to take ownership of their life, grow every day, and step into a level of confidence that makes an undeniable impact. The path to dangerous confidence starts here, and every step you take from this moment can transform your life completely. Chapter 14: Master your mindset to control your daily thoughts. Mastering the mind is the first and most essential step toward becoming truly confident. Every decision you make, every action you take, and every habit you form originates in thought. Without control over your mind, confidence is fleeting, unstable, and dependent on circumstances outside your control. Thoughts are the foundation of behavior, and behavior builds the reality you experience. Understanding this begins with the awareness that your mind is not a passive observer. It is an active participant that constantly shapes your life. Observing your thoughts is the first skill to develop. Begin by noticing what dominates your mind when you wake up, when you encounter challenges, or when you feel stress. Recognize patterns of negativity, doubt, or distraction. Awareness is not about judgment, it is about clarity. When you understand your patterns, you gain the ability to choose which thoughts to focus on and which to let pass. This observation alone begins to shift the power from external circumstances back into your hands. Thoughts are not inherently true. Most thoughts are fleeting, often based on assumptions, fear, or habit. Separating the truth from mental noise is essential. When a negative thought arises, you must pause and question it. Ask whether it is based on fact, whether it serves your goals, or whether it is simply a reaction to a temporary emotion. This practice strengthens mental discipline. It teaches the mind to act deliberately rather than react impulsively. Over time, choosing your thoughts consciously becomes second nature, and confidence grows because your actions are rooted in clarity rather than anxiety. Mental mastery begins with this deliberate attention to internal dialogue. Controlling your mind also requires understanding the link between thought and emotion. Thoughts influence feelings, and feelings influence behavior. Negative thoughts breed fear, hesitation, and self-doubt, which then manifest in actions that reinforce insecurity. Positive, disciplined thoughts create composure, decisiveness, and determination. Emotional awareness allows you to identify these connections. Recognizing the moment a thought triggers fear or anxiety gives you the opportunity to redirect your focus. This does not mean ignoring fear, but observing it, understanding it, and choosing a rational response. Emotional mastery is inseparable from mental mastery, and both are essential for unshakable confidence. Daily habits form the structure that supports mental control. The mind, left unchecked, defaults to patterns learned over years of life experience. Breaking destructive patterns requires replacing them with intentional routines. Simple practices such as journaling, meditation, or focused reflection anchor the mind in constructive thought. Journaling is particularly effective because it externalizes thought, transforming mental clutter into actionable insight. Writing down recurring worries, challenges, and successes provides clarity and perspective. Reviewing entries regularly reveals patterns that can be addressed deliberately. whether it is procrastination, negative self-talk, or indecision. Meditation, even for a few minutes daily, trains the mind to observe without attachment, building focus, patience, and calm. These practices establish a mental foundation that can withstand external pressures, creating confidence that is self-generated rather than dependent on approval or circumstances. Language shapes thought in ways that are often overlooked. The words you use internally frame perception and action. Vague, catastrophic, or self-limiting language reinforces doubt and hesitation. Precise, rational, and constructive language strengthens clarity and confidence. Replace internal statements like, "I can't handle this," with, "I can take this step by step," or "I will find a solution." This adjustment is more than semantic. It changes the neurological pathways the brain uses to process challenges. Each deliberate choice of words reinforces a mindset capable of handling obstacles without panic or hesitation. This practice is particularly effective when paired with reflection and journaling, allowing you to track progress and refine internal language continuously. Visualization is another tool for mastering the mind. Imagining yourself responding effectively in challenging situations creates neural patterns similar to actual experience. Mental rehearsal strengthens confidence because the brain interprets these simulations as preparation. Visualize not just success, but the process, the calm decisions, the deliberate steps, and the composure under pressure. This prepares the mind to act with certainty when real challenges arise. Daily visualization cultivates a sense of readiness, reducing hesitation and fear when opportunity or difficulty appears. Visualization is most effective when paired with active reflection, noting areas for improvement and reinforcing strengths. Over time, this practice makes confident responses automatic, creating a foundation for dangerous confidence. Discipline underpins all mental mastery. The mind grows strong through repeated practice, deliberate effort, and consistent self-correction. Discipline is not occasional heroic effort, but the daily exercise of control over thought, attention, and reaction. Choose a daily exercise that challenges mental control, deliberate focus on a task without distraction, reframing negative thoughts, or committing to a morning reflection. Repeat this consistently. Small, repeated actions compound over time, forming habits that shape behavior and mindset. Discipline creates reliability in thought and action. Confidence is sustained because your mind responds predictably to challenges rather than wavering with each circumstance. This reliability builds trust in your own judgment, which is the core of unshakable self-assurance. Your environment significantly impacts mental control. People, places, and routines influence the quality of thoughts that dominate your mind. Surround yourself with individuals who challenge, support, and inspire growth. Avoid situations or relationships that feed doubt, negativity, or distraction. Physical spaces matter as well. A clean, organized environment supports clarity of thought, while chaos reinforces scattered attention. Intentional design of your environment reinforces the mental discipline you are cultivating. By controlling external inputs, you reduce mental clutter and create conditions where focus, composure, and confidence naturally flourish. Decision-making is a key application of controlled thought. Hesitation often stems from mental chaos, fear, or uncertainty. By training the mind to focus, analyze accurately, and weigh options without emotional distortion, decisions become decisive and reliable. Confidence is a natural byproduct of consistent, correct action. Begin by making small decisions deliberately and reflecting on the outcomes. Gradually increase the complexity of decisions as your confidence grows. Each successful decision reinforces the neural pattern of trust in your judgment. Repetition of this process trains the mind to act quickly, calmly, and decisively, regardless of external pressure or ambiguity. Self-reflection consolidates learning from thought control. At the end of each day, review thoughts, emotions, and actions. Identify instances of clarity and effectiveness as well as moments of distraction, hesitation, or emotional hijack. Reflection is not judgment, it is evaluation. This habit transforms mental control from abstract principle into tangible skill. Patterns emerge, strategies are refined, and confidence increases as you gain mastery over the mental triggers that once undermined performance. Reflection provides the feedback loop essential for continuous growth, strengthening the link between disciplined thought and decisive action. Testing assumptions is critical for refining thought. Many limiting beliefs arise from unexamined assumptions, past failures, or inherited perspectives. Challenging these assumptions allows the mind to remain flexible, adaptive, and resilient. Question internal narratives such as, "I am not capable," or "I must avoid failure." Examine the evidence and replace assumptions with reasoned conclusions. This cultivates a mindset of rational confidence, free from unnecessary restrictions. The flexible mind can respond effectively to unforeseen challenges, a hallmark of dangerous confidence. Physical state influences mental state. Control of thought is enhanced by attention to posture, breathing, energy levels, and physical health. Regular exercise, proper nutrition, and restorative sleep reinforce clarity, focus, and emotional stability. The mind and body are inseparable in performance. When the body is prepared, the mind is sharper, more resilient, and capable of deliberate thought under pressure. Simple practices such as deep breathing during stress, walking to clear mental clutter, or short exercise breaks during workdays amplify mental control and reinforce disciplined thought patterns. Accountability anchors mental mastery in reality. Sharing goals, intentions, and mental practice with others or committing them to written form strengthens follow-through. External accountability ensures that disciplined thought translates into action. It prevents laziness or mental drift from eroding gains. Reviewing progress with accountability structures, whether through mentors, peers, or journals, solidifies habits and encourages continuous refinement. Accountability transforms theoretical mental control into a measurable, observable practice that produces results. It ensures that confidence is not wishful thinking, but the outcome of deliberate, consistent effort. Practical exercises reinforce these principles. Each morning, review priorities and intentions. Identify potential mental obstacles and plan responses. Record successes, failures, and lessons learned. Practice reframing challenges and maintaining focus for set periods of time. Reflect at the end of each day to consolidate learning. Small, consistent actions compound into enduring mental strength. Confidence becomes the default response because thought patterns are trained to be clear, disciplined, and directed toward growth rather than reaction. The benefits of mastering your mindset extend beyond personal achievement. Controlled thought improves relationships, communication, and leadership ability. Decisions become rational and timely. Emotional stability fosters trust and influence with others. Mental discipline becomes visible in posture, tone, and action, naturally commanding respect and attention. Dangerous confidence is not forced or aggressive. It is earned through the consistent ability to navigate challenges calmly, act deliberately, and maintain clarity in any circumstance. Each conscious thought reinforces this cycle, creating a feedback loop of success and composure. Mastering your mindset is a daily, intentional, and actionable practice. Awareness, choice, self-talk, visualization, emotional regulation, disciplined routines, environmental design, decision-making, reflection, questioning assumptions, physical alignment, and accountability all work together to shape a confident, resilient mind. Confidence is the natural outcome of mental mastery, not a fleeting emotion. By controlling daily thoughts, the mind becomes a tool of clarity, focus, and strength. Each thought directed intentionally is a building block of character, a foundation for decisive action, and a source of enduring power. The process is continuous. The more you practice, the stronger the mental habits, and the more unstoppable your confidence becomes. Dangerous confidence begins here, rooted in disciplined thought and deliberate action, shaping not only how you see yourself, but how you navigate the world, influence others, and achieve goals beyond expectation. Mastery of daily thought is the starting point of a life of resilience, discipline, and unstoppable achievement, the foundation upon which all future personal growth rests. Chapter 20: Build unshakable self-belief through consistent small victories. Belief in yourself is not a single moment of inspiration. It is a structure built brick by brick, day by day, through deliberate action and repeated success. Confidence does not emerge from grand gestures alone. It grows steadily when you prove to yourself, consistently, that you can overcome challenges, complete tasks, and maintain focus under pressure. Small victories are the foundation of unshakable self-belief. They are the evidence you collect every day to show your mind and body that you are capable. Each time you follow through on a commitment, meet a goal, or handle a situation effectively, you are reinforcing a neural pathway that tells your brain you can succeed. Over time, these repeated successes accumulate, creating a reservoir of certainty that no external circumstance can easily shake. The first step in building this belief is setting achievable, measurable goals that push you just beyond your comfort zone. Start by identifying tasks that are challenging enough to require effort, but not so large that failure is almost certain. The objective is consistent progress, not perfection. Breaking larger ambitions into smaller, actionable steps allows for a steady stream of accomplishments that provide continuous feedback. When you reach a milestone, no matter how minor, recognize it fully. Pause to reflect on what was required to succeed and internalize that sense of competence. This process trains your mind to recognize and celebrate achievement, creating a habit of reinforcing confidence through action rather than relying on fleeting emotions or external validation. Tracking progress is essential in this process. Documenting small achievements provides tangible proof of growth. Writing down each success, the effort it required, and the lessons learned consolidates self-belief. This record becomes a reference point when doubt arises, a reminder of your ability to persevere and excel. Over time, reviewing past successes strengthens the psychological foundation of confidence, demonstrating clearly that progress is possible regardless of past failures or obstacles. Recording victories transforms abstract belief into concrete evidence, making self-trust measurable and undeniable. Consistency is the engine of self-belief. Small victories only accumulate power if repeated over time. Occasional success without follow-through is insufficient to form lasting confidence. Daily commitment to completing tasks, no matter how trivial they seem, reinforces reliability in yourself. This reliability becomes an internal standard, a benchmark for personal accountability. When you consistently meet your commitments, even on a small scale, you prove to yourself that your word, effort, and actions can be trusted. Reliability breeds certainty, and certainty forms the core of unshakable self-belief. Reflection after each success amplifies the impact of victories. Taking time to analyze what led to success ensures lessons are absorbed, mistakes are corrected, and strategies are refined. Reflecting on the effort, mindset, and decisions required allows you to identify patterns that produce results. This insight enables replication and scalability of small wins. Understanding why you succeeded provides the clarity to trust yourself in future endeavors. Self-belief does not grow from random success. It grows from informed success, knowledge of your methods, and awareness of your capabilities. Facing and overcoming small challenges intentionally strengthens confidence more than avoiding difficulty. When you deliberately engage with tasks that test your limits, you condition your mind to handle discomfort, uncertainty, and adversity. Each challenge overcome, no matter its scale, becomes proof that you can meet higher levels of difficulty. Building self-belief requires pushing through moments of doubt, stress, or fear, internalizing the fact that competence is not dependent on ease but on action. The accumulation of these small triumphs forms a psychological armor that protects confidence in the face of future obstacles. Action without reflection is incomplete. Deliberate practice involves both doing and reviewing. When completing small tasks, focus on quality, attention to detail, and thoughtful execution. Evaluate what worked and what can improve. This iterative cycle transforms ordinary actions into structured development exercises. Each completed task reinforces a sense of capability, while each reflection strengthens strategic thinking. Confidence becomes not an emotion, but a predictable outcome of disciplined behavior. The mind learns to associate effort with results, which establishes self-trust as an unshakable internal standard. Building self-belief also requires managing setbacks constructively. Failure is inevitable, but consistent self-belief is resilient to mistakes. When a task does not go as planned, focus on the process rather than the outcome. Analyze what went wrong, extract lessons, and integrate improvements into future attempts. Avoid negative self-judgment or dwelling on failure. Treat each misstep as information, not identity. By handling setbacks this way, confidence remains intact and belief in personal capability deepens. Understanding that success is cumulative rather than instantaneous allows your self-esteem to survive challenges unscathed. Accountability amplifies the power of small victories. Sharing goals with trusted individuals or creating public commitments increases adherence to your objectives. Accountability introduces external reinforcement that complements internal self-belief. It transforms abstract personal goals into tangible obligations, providing structure and motivation. When victories are achieved under accountability, they carry additional weight, reinforcing the perception that success is repeatable and reliable. Structured accountability systems ensure that self-belief is not dependent on mood or circumstance, but on predictable effort and measurable outcomes. Visualization reinforces confidence by mentally rehearsing victory. Imagining yourself completing tasks, overcoming challenges, and succeeding in incremental steps primes your mind for real-world execution. Visualization strengthens neural pathways, improving performance when action is required. By mentally experiencing success, you reduce hesitation, anxiety, and uncertainty. The combination of physical action through small victories and mental rehearsal through visualization compounds the development of self-belief. Your mind begins to anticipate competence, creating confidence before action even begins. Self-discipline underlies the consistent pursuit of small victories. The act of following through daily, regardless of motivation, solidifies confidence. Motivation fluctuates, but discipline guarantees action. Set clear routines that incorporate daily progress toward objectives, even when the effort feels small. This consistency reinforces the narrative that you are capable, reliable, and in control. Discipline is the bridge between intention and achievement, transforming aspirations into tangible results that feed self-belief. Attention to detail increases the value of each small victory. Performing tasks with focus, care, and thoroughness reinforces internal standards of excellence. The brain associates meticulous effort with competence, boosting confidence as skills improve. Sloppy execution diminishes the psychological impact of success because the mind perceives achievement as incomplete or accidental. Excellence in small actions builds momentum that extends to larger challenges, establishing a track record of dependable performance. Gradual escalation is crucial. Begin with manageable goals and increase difficulty as competence grows. Each step taken beyond the previous limit signals progress to the mind. Escalation ensures continuous learning and prevents stagnation, reinforcing the belief that capabilities expand through effort. By experiencing repeated success in slightly more challenging contexts, self-belief becomes dynamic, capable of growth, and resistant to external pressure. Celebrating achievements reinforces the psychological reward system. Acknowledging small wins, reflecting on the effort involved, and noting progress strengthens the brain's association between effort and positive outcomes. Celebration need not be extravagant, but must be conscious. Recognition creates a feedback loop that motivates continued effort and internalizes the truth of competence. This reinforces the accumulation of victories as a deliberate strategy rather than random occurrences. Environment shapes self-perception. Surround yourself with individuals who value growth, encourage effort, and model competence. Avoid environments that foster negativity or doubt. Exposure to capable, disciplined, and motivated people accelerates internalization of confidence because behavior and thought patterns are influenced by consistent observation. A supportive environment amplifies the impact of small victories, while a toxic one undermines reinforcement. Intentional selection of surroundings strengthens the foundation of self-belief. Reflecting on the past consolidates confidence. Reviewing previous successes, no matter how minor, provides evidence that progress is real and repeatable. Memory of past accomplishments reinforces self-trust during periods of doubt or challenge. Use recorded achievements or mental reflection to remind yourself of proven capability. This habit creates a resilient internal narrative where competence is recognized and reinforced, regardless of temporary difficulties or external criticism. Progress is cumulative. Small victories compound over time to create profound belief in ability. No single success defines competence, but repeated success forms undeniable proof. Daily practice of completing tasks, meeting challenges, and observing results builds momentum that transforms self-perception. The accumulation of victories is tangible evidence that effort produces outcomes, which becomes the foundation of enduring self-confidence. Self-belief achieved through small victories is actionable and practical. Each day presents opportunities to prove capability in incremental steps. By intentionally identifying goals, taking deliberate action, reflecting on outcomes, handling setbacks constructively, and tracking progress, confidence becomes measurable and reliable. This approach creates a psychological structure that is resilient, repeatable, and adaptable. Belief is no longer dependent on external validation, but arises from repeated evidence of competence. Mastery of small victories builds dangerous confidence because it creates an internal standard that cannot be easily shaken. Each completed task, each challenge overcome, and each milestone achieved reinforces the understanding that capability is within your control. The mind and body learn to expect competence, and hesitation becomes unnecessary. Action flows naturally from certainty, and self-belief becomes an automatic response to challenge. The consistent accumulation of small successes forms the unshakable foundation of confidence that can withstand pressure, adversity, and uncertainty. Over time, the discipline of pursuing and acknowledging small victories transforms identity. You begin to see yourself as capable, reliable, and effective. This identity fuels further effort, increasing the scope and impact of victories. The cycle becomes self-reinforcing. Action creates belief, belief motivates action, and repeated action expands competence. Dangerous confidence is not an illusion, but the inevitable result of disciplined practice, structured progress, and deliberate attention to small but significant accomplishments. Self-belief through small victories ensures that confidence is grounded in reality, not perception. It is measurable, consistent, and earned. Each success proves capability, reinforces discipline, and builds momentum for higher achievement. The strategy is simple but profound. Take deliberate steps, complete them reliably, reflect on progress, handle setbacks with composure, and escalate challenges steadily. The accumulation of these victories forms a psychological and practical foundation that guarantees personal confidence and equips you to handle any challenge with certainty, competence, and calm determination. Chapter 30. Challenge your fears to expand your comfort zone. Fear is not an enemy to avoid. It is a signal that you are encountering growth. The mind interprets uncertainty and challenge as risk, and the body responds with hesitation or anxiety. Every fear you feel marks the boundary of your current comfort zone. Growth does not occur inside comfort, but precisely at the edges where discomfort exists. Recognizing this is the first step toward expanding your capacity. Fear is a guide, showing you where effort and courage will produce meaningful development. It is not an obstacle to bypass, but a marker indicating where your next level of competence lies. The process of confronting fear begins with awareness. Notice what triggers apprehension, anxiety, or avoidance. Observe the situations that provoke hesitation without judgment. Awareness allows you to separate rational caution from unnecessary limitation. Once identified, these fears can be challenged deliberately, systematically, and constructively. The next step is preparation. Confidence does not come from recklessness, but from readiness. Understand the specific fear you are facing and break it into manageable components. Analyze why it provokes discomfort, what the worst-case scenario realistically is, and what actions you can take to mitigate risk. Preparation converts anxiety into strategy, transforming unknowns into actionable steps. Each step you plan reduces the power of fear over your mind. This is a practical approach that builds trust in yourself. By taking deliberate, small actions toward confronting the fear, you demonstrate competence to your own mind. Action is the antidote to paralysis caused by worry. Incremental exposure is the most effective method for expanding your comfort zone. Begin with smaller, controlled challenges that produce manageable levels of discomfort. Completing these initial steps reinforces confidence and demonstrates that fear is not an insurmountable barrier. Each incremental success expands your capacity for more significant challenges. The process is cumulative, repeated. Intentional exposure strengthens resilience, increases competence, and gradually diminishes the intensity of fear. By approaching fear as a series of steps rather than a single leap, you avoid overwhelm while building sustainable courage. Action under pressure is essential. Fear often creates a desire to avoid situations entirely. True growth requires moving forward despite discomfort. Taking action while feeling fear trains the mind to associate courage with reward rather than avoidance. Each deliberate choice to act despite fear reinforces the internal narrative that you are capable, resilient, and in control. Over time, confronting challenges becomes less intimidating because repeated experience has proven your ability to handle difficulty. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the disciplined response to fear. Reflection after confronting fear consolidates learning and strengthens future performance. Analyze what occurred, how you responded, and what adjustments are necessary for next time. Identify what strategies worked, where hesitation appeared, and how perception of the fear changed. Reflection ensures that each encounter with fear is transformed into knowledge, skill, and confidence. By reviewing progress consistently, you build a mental map of how to navigate future challenges efficiently. Reflection converts experience into mastery, preventing the repetition of unnecessary struggle and reinforcing the habit of deliberate action. Visualization complements practical exposure. Mentally rehearsing challenging situations before confronting them strengthens competence and reduces anxiety. Visualize precise actions, deliberate responses, and successful outcomes. The brain prepares for real-world execution as if the imagined scenario were actual experience. Combined with real action, visualization accelerates skill acquisition and fosters mental resilience. Mental rehearsal enhances clarity, reduces hesitation, and reinforces self-trust. Practicing this consistently creates a mindset where fear becomes manageable and challenges are anticipated with confidence rather than dread. Self-discipline ensures that confrontation with fear is sustained over time. Courage is not a single act, but a habit cultivated through repetition. Set daily or weekly exercises that push boundaries in controlled ways. These can include speaking up in situations that provoke discomfort, tackling tasks you tend to avoid, or deliberately placing yourself in unfamiliar circumstances. Discipline guarantees action even when motivation falters, reinforcing the connection between effort, experience, and self-belief. By committing to regular practice, fear gradually loses its power and confidence grows naturally. Analyzing the roots of fear provides insight and long-term growth. Many fears originate from past experiences, social conditioning, or assumptions about personal limitations. Identify the source of each fear to determine whether it is rational, outdated, or distorted. Understanding the origin allows you to respond strategically rather than emotionally. When fear is approached as information rather than threat, it becomes manageable and even useful. Rational examination converts previously paralyzing feelings into a guide for deliberate action. Accountability strengthens the process of confronting fear. Sharing goals and challenges with trusted peers or mentors increases commitment and creates external reinforcement. Accountability provides motivation to act even when internal resistance arises. Feedback from others also offers perspective, helping identify blind spots and reinforcing progress. Social accountability ensures that courage becomes habitual rather than occasional, and it encourages consistent growth beyond solitary effort. The environment you choose affects how fear is approached. Surround yourself with individuals who model courage, resilience, and disciplined action. Avoid environments that amplify anxiety or encourage avoidance. Exposure to proactive, growth-oriented people reinforces your own efforts and accelerates progress. A supportive setting increases the likelihood of repeated success, strengthens self-belief, and demonstrates that fear is temporary and manageable. Environmental cues shape mental responses. Intentional design of surroundings directly impacts how effectively you challenge your limits. Celebrating incremental achievements reinforces confidence. Recognizing each success, no matter how small, strengthens the neural pathways that associate action with reward. Celebrating progress reinforces the habit of confronting fear, creating a positive feedback loop that motivates continued effort. Successes become evidence that fear is surmountable and that competence grows through repeated action. Acknowledging achievements consolidates learning and strengthens self-trust. Mindset plays a crucial role in confronting fear. Framing challenges as opportunities rather than threats encourages action. Viewing discomfort as a signal of growth rather than danger shifts perspective. Optimizing mindset reduces the intensity of fear and increases willingness to act. Cultivating a disciplined internal dialogue that emphasizes capability, preparation, and perseverance strengthens resolve. Thought patterns directly influence the body's response to fear, and deliberate reframing reduces physiological and psychological resistance. Physical presence influences the experience of fear. Maintaining posture, controlled breathing, and deliberate movement supports mental clarity. Fear often manifests physically as tension, rapid heartbeat, or shallow breathing. Regulating the body through posture, breath, and composure signals to the mind that the situation is manageable. Integrating body awareness with cognitive strategies enhances resilience, ensuring fear does not dominate decisions or actions. Physical preparation strengthens mental performance, making the confrontation of fear more effective. Risk assessment is a practical tool for engaging fear strategically. Understanding what is genuinely dangerous versus what is merely uncomfortable prevents unnecessary hesitation. Rational evaluation allows informed action without overestimation of risk. Fear can then be approached as a challenge with defined parameters rather than an abstract threat. This strategic approach increases efficiency, reduces anxiety, and encourages regular engagement with growth opportunities. Acting with calculated risk develops competence and reinforces the habit of deliberate courage. Persistence is essential in expanding comfort zones. Some fears will require repeated exposure to diminish. Consistent effort despite setbacks ensures continuous growth. Each attempt, whether fully successful or partially accomplished, builds tolerance, experience, and skill. Persistence reinforces the internal narrative that capability is not dependent on perfect execution, but on consistent action. Repetition strengthens neural pathways that underlie confidence, creating durable courage and self-reliance. Feedback enhances learning from fear. Observing the outcome of actions, seeking input from others, and self-analyzing responses provides insight into effectiveness. Feedback clarifies strengths, identifies areas for improvement, and refines approach. Incorporating lessons from each encounter strengthens competence and prepares for future challenges. Constructive feedback transforms experience into expertise, accelerating the expansion of comfort zones. Confronting fear increases adaptability. Each new challenge improves the mind's capacity to handle uncertainty, stress, and unexpected outcomes. Adaptability fosters resilience, enabling calm responses to diverse situations. The more frequently you engage with fear, the more your internal reference points expand, allowing flexibility and confidence in novel circumstances. This adaptability is a cornerstone of dangerous confidence because it makes hesitation and doubt rare responses in demanding situations. Internal dialogue is a powerful determinant of action. Replacing thoughts of avoidance with rational, solution-focused statements shifts behavior. Mental reinforcement of competence, preparation, and capability transforms fear from an obstacle into a signal for action. Controlled internal dialogue strengthens resolve and reduces reactive, fear-driven behavior. Each interaction with fear becomes an opportunity to train the mind, reinforcing belief in ability and judgment. Ultimately, confronting fear is the deliberate practice of expanding personal limits. Each encounter with discomfort, when approached thoughtfully, strategically, and consistently, stretches the boundary of what is achievable. Fear becomes a tool for growth rather than a barrier to action. The accumulation of these experiences creates a mindset capable of handling uncertainty, taking decisive action, and embracing challenges with calm assurance. Courage becomes habitual because it is repeatedly exercised, and confidence grows because it is continually reinforced by evidence of success. Dangerous confidence is cultivated by engaging with fear systematically, transforming hesitation into action and discomfort into progress. The process of challenging fear shapes identity. You begin to view yourself as capable, resilient, and proactive. Each small step outside the comfort zone validates competence, increases mental and emotional resilience, and reinforces the understanding that fear is temporary. Confidence develops as a predictable outcome of deliberate engagement with challenge. Over time, the habitual confrontation of fear expands what is possible, strengthens self-belief, and lays the foundation for action that is calm, deliberate, and unshakable. Chapter 40. Develop relentless discipline to achieve your personal goals. Discipline is the bridge between ambition and achievement. Goals alone are meaningless without the consistent effort required to realize them. True discipline is not about rare moments of intensity, but the daily practice of showing up and acting with purpose. It is built through small, repeated actions that align with your objectives, even when motivation fades or obstacles arise. Developing relentless discipline starts with clarity about what you want to achieve. Goals must be specific, measurable, and aligned with your values to inspire sustained action. Knowing precisely what you are working toward allows the mind to focus, the body to act, and decisions to support progress consistently. Consistency is the foundation of discipline. Showing up every day to take deliberate steps toward your objectives trains your mind and body to respond predictably to effort. Daily repetition transforms behavior into habit, and habits eliminate the need for constant willpower. Discipline becomes automatic because your routines are structured to produce results. Even small actions performed consistently have a compounding effect, creating momentum that propels you forward. Momentum reinforces belief in your ability to follow through, strengthening the internal structure that supports long-term achievement. Time management is an essential tool for building discipline. Relentless effort requires prioritization and organization. Identify tasks that produce the greatest impact and allocate time to complete them without distraction. Avoid multitasking and focus on single tasks with intensity. Structured schedules reduce mental clutter and provide clear expectations for action. By controlling time effectively, discipline becomes less about restraint and more about optimizing effort for maximum results. Planning each day ensures that work toward your goals is deliberate and measurable. Self-awareness is critical in sustaining discipline. Recognize your natural tendencies, weaknesses, and triggers for procrastination. Identifying moments of distraction or hesitation allows preemptive strategies to maintain focus. Adjust routines to account for energy levels, mental clarity, and personal rhythms. Awareness prevents lapses from becoming habits and enables targeted reinforcement of productive behaviors. By understanding yourself, you can structure your environment and actions to support consistency, making discipline less a struggle and more a natural outcome of preparation. Accountability strengthens discipline by adding external reinforcement. Sharing goals with mentors, peers, or through public commitment increases adherence to plans. Accountability ensures that effort is tracked and progress is recognized. It prevents rationalization or delay and motivates action even when internal motivation is low. The presence of accountability creates a reliable feedback loop that encourages persistence and reinforces the habit of consistent effort. External pressure complements internal drive, making disciplined action predictable and dependable. Focus amplifies discipline, eliminating distractions and directing attention toward high-value tasks allows effort to be fully effective. Discipline without focus can result in wasted energy, while concentrated action produces tangible results. Create environments that minimize interruptions, set clear priorities, and structure tasks to maximize engagement. By maintaining focus, each action contributes directly to goal achievement, reinforcing the psychological reward system and strengthening commitment to consistent effort. Setting intermediate milestones supports sustained discipline. Breaking larger goals into smaller, achievable steps allows for continuous progress and frequent reinforcement. Each milestone achieved serves as tangible evidence of capability, maintaining motivation and reinforcing habit formation. Intermediate objectives prevent overwhelm and provide opportunities for reflection, adjustment, and celebration. They ensure that discipline remains manageable while building toward ambitious outcomes, transforming long, turn vision into actionable steps. Reflection enhances the development of discipline. At the end of each day or week, review actions, successes, and lapses. Identify patterns, recognize achievements, and adjust strategies for improvement. Reflection transforms repetitive action into intelligent practice, ensuring that discipline is purposeful rather than mechanical. By analyzing outcomes, you refine processes and increase efficiency, making future effort more effective and reinforcing the habit of deliberate action. Resilience is intertwined with discipline. Obstacles, setbacks, and failures are inevitable, but disciplined individuals persist regardless of difficulty. Developing the capacity to continue acting in the face of challenge strengthens both skill and character. Discipline is tested and reinforced through adversity, creating a mindset that approaches difficulty with determination rather than hesitation. Each instance of overcoming resistance strengthens commitment and builds confidence in the ability to achieve long-term objectives. Prioritizing health is fundamental for maintaining discipline. Physical fitness, nutrition, and rest provide the energy and mental clarity necessary for sustained effort. Discipline is impossible to sustain when the body is depleted or stressed. Incorporating consistent exercise, balanced nutrition, and restorative sleep ensures that mental and physical resources are available to meet daily objectives. Energy management is as critical as time management for achieving relentless, disciplined progress. Immediate action prevents procrastination from undermining discipline. The habit of responding promptly to responsibilities creates momentum and reduces the mental burden of delay. Acting quickly on decisions, tasks, and commitments reinforces reliability and internal trust. Each instance of prompt action strengthens neural pathways that associate initiative with progress, embedding discipline as a natural response rather than a forced effort. Positive reinforcement accelerates habit formation. Recognizing effort, rewarding progress, and internalizing accomplishments strengthens the link between action and satisfaction. Discipline is easier to maintain when effort produces tangible psychological benefit. Each reinforcement consolidates behavior, making consistency easier and more automatic. By celebrating progress, the mind develops an internal reward system that supports persistent, deliberate action. Flexibility enhances discipline. Rigid adherence to plans without adaptation can lead to frustration and burnout. Relentless discipline requires the ability to adjust strategies, respond to unforeseen circumstances, and maintain effort toward objectives despite changing conditions. Flexibility ensures that discipline is sustainable, resilient, and effective over the long term. It allows continued progress without sacrificing focus, energy, or momentum. Visualization reinforces disciplined behavior. Mentally rehearsing tasks, routines, and strategies strengthens preparedness and reduces hesitation. Visualizing the process rather than only the outcome enhances execution, allowing consistent, confident action. Mental practice supports physical practice, embedding habits more deeply and ensuring that disciplined effort is effective and deliberate. Visualization integrates planning, focus, and action, enhancing the quality and consistency of effort. Eliminating excuses is essential for building discipline. Rationalizing delay, blaming circumstances, or deflecting responsibility undermines consistent effort. Discipline requires full ownership of actions, decisions, and outcomes. By removing excuses, accountability becomes internalized, and effort becomes reliable. Accepting responsibility reinforces the habit of consistent action and strengthens the internal narrative that progress is always possible through deliberate effort. Environmental design supports sustained discipline. Organizing physical spaces, digital tools, and social structures to encourage focus and minimize distraction reinforces behavior. Environments that facilitate action reduce reliance on willpower and allow discipline to become automatic. Strategic arrangement of surroundings ensures that effort is directed efficiently and consistently toward goal achievement. By shaping the environment to support productivity, each action aligns naturally with long-term objectives. Measurement and tracking ensure that discipline produces tangible results. Monitoring progress, analyzing performance, and adjusting methods provide clarity and prevent wasted effort. Quantifiable tracking transforms abstract effort into concrete evidence of growth, reinforcing motivation and commitment. Measuring outcomes allows continuous refinement, ensuring that disciplined behavior is both effective and aligned with goals. Commitment to long-term vision anchors daily discipline. Understanding the purpose behind each action reinforces persistence. Goals sustained by meaningful purpose are less vulnerable to fluctuation in mood, energy, or circumstance. Clarity of vision connects daily effort to larger achievement, creating a psychological framework that supports relentless action. Discipline becomes easier when anchored to purpose rather than reactive urgency. Self-trust grows through disciplined action. Each day of consistent effort demonstrates reliability to yourself. This internal trust is the foundation of confidence, enabling bold decisions, effective risk-taking, and sustained focus. Discipline and confidence are mutually reinforcing. Reliable action builds trust, and trust motivates further disciplined behavior. Self-belief emerges naturally from the consistency of effort and the evidence of achievement it produces. Long-term perspective ensures discipline is maintained beyond immediate results. Understanding that mastery, growth, and success require sustained effort prevents discouragement from temporary setbacks. Maintaining focus on the cumulative impact of disciplined behavior allows consistency to become habitual. Relentless action over time compounds into substantial achievement, and the mindset of long-term commitment shields against distraction, impatience, and short-term discomfort. Discipline shapes character. Through repeated, deliberate action, individuals develop resilience, patience, reliability, and focus. These qualities extend beyond specific goals, influencing relationships, decision-making, and personal integrity. The practice of discipline creates a stable foundation that supports achievement, confidence, and leadership. By committing to consistent effort, you build a life in which personal goals are reached predictably and self-belief is reinforced continuously. Relentless discipline transforms intention into reality. Each day of deliberate effort contributes to cumulative success. Clear goals, consistent action, structured routines, reflection, resilience, accountability, and environmental design work together to create a life guided by deliberate, reliable, and effective behavior. Discipline converts aspiration into achievement, fear into confidence, and uncertainty into action. Mastery of this process is the cornerstone of personal growth and the key to achieving goals beyond expectation, establishing a framework for sustained, unshakable confidence and measurable success. Chapter 5: Strengthen emotional resilience to handle every setback. Emotional resilience is the ability to recover quickly from difficulties, maintain stability under pressure, and respond to challenges with clarity and composure. It is not an innate trait reserved for a few. It is a skill that can be cultivated deliberately through practice, awareness, and disciplined thought. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks are inevitable, but the way you respond defines your trajectory. Building resilience requires recognizing that adversity is an opportunity for growth rather than a sign of failure. The first step is to observe your emotional reactions without judgment. Notice how setbacks trigger fear, frustration, or self-doubt. Awareness allows you to separate the intensity of emotion from the facts of the situation. Emotions are signals, not commands. Understanding this distinction prevents impulsive reactions and creates space to respond thoughtfully rather than reactively. The next step is developing emotional regulation. This involves acknowledging feelings while choosing deliberate responses aligned with your long-term goals. Deep breathing, pausing before acting, and reframing perspectives are practical tools. For example, when confronted with criticism or failure, instead of reacting defensively, analyze the situation objectively. Ask what can be learned and what actions you can take to improve. This approach transforms negative experiences into actionable insight and reinforces a sense of control over circumstances. Emotional regulation is reinforced through repeated practice and deliberate reflection after each challenge. Perspective is a cornerstone of resilience. Understand that setbacks are temporary, situational, and often part of a larger trajectory of progress. Avoid catastrophizing events or allowing isolated failures to define your self-worth. Viewing challenges in the context of long-term growth enables you to maintain composure and focus on solutions. Adopting a mindset that sees difficulties as information rather than judgment builds durability. By consistently framing adversity as a stepping stone, you reduce emotional volatility and strengthen the capacity to recover from setbacks quickly. Self-talk influences resilience significantly. The internal dialogue you maintain in response to challenges determines your emotional stability. Replace thoughts of helplessness or self-criticism with statements emphasizing capability, adaptability, and problem-solving. Affirming your ability to respond effectively under pressure creates confidence and reduces fear-driven reactions. Discipline in self-talk transforms automatic negative reactions into constructive responses. Over time, the mind associates challenges with opportunity instead of threat, which reinforces emotional stability and reduces stress when difficulties arise. Resilience is strengthened through preparation. Anticipate potential obstacles and develop strategies in advance. Preparing for setbacks reduces uncertainty, which is often the source of emotional distress. When difficulties occur, preparedness allows you to act decisively rather than react impulsively. Planning involves analyzing potential challenges, identifying resources, and establishing clear actions for various scenarios. The practice of preparation increases confidence and reduces the emotional impact of unforeseen events, making setbacks more manageable. Building support systems reinforces emotional resilience. Surround yourself with individuals who offer constructive feedback, guidance, and perspective. Sharing experiences with trusted peers or mentors provides validation, alternative viewpoints, and encouragement. Social support buffers the impact of stress and fosters a sense of stability. While resilience must ultimately be internal, cultivating relationships with people who reinforce strength, responsibility, and constructive problem-solving accelerates emotional growth and reduces the burden of isolation during challenges. Reflection enhances learning from adversity. After each setback, analyze the sequence of events, your emotional reactions, and the outcomes. Identify what was within your control, what can be improved, and what lessons can be applied to future challenges. Structured reflection transforms experience into knowledge, reinforcing the ability to respond effectively in subsequent situations. Reflection ensures that resilience is not accidental but cultivated, and each encounter with difficulty strengthens future responses. Physical well-being impacts emotional resilience. Fatigue, poor nutrition, and stress weaken the ability to manage emotions effectively. Prioritizing rest, exercise, and healthy habits enhances mental clarity, focus, and mood regulation. The mind and body are interconnected, and maintaining physical health provides the energy and stability necessary to respond to setbacks calmly and deliberately. Incorporating physical discipline into daily routines reinforces emotional endurance and consistency. Acceptance is a practical tool for managing uncontrollable events. Not every circumstance can be changed, and resisting reality increases stress and prolongs emotional distress. Recognizing what is beyond control allows energy to be redirected toward constructive action. Acceptance is not resignation, but a strategic acknowledgement that frees mental resources to respond effectively. By distinguishing between what can be influenced and what cannot, resilience is strengthened and emotional responses become more purposeful and controlled. Problem-solving skills are critical for translating emotional stability into action. Resilient individuals respond to setbacks by analyzing challenges, identifying solutions, and taking deliberate steps toward resolution. Developing structured approaches to problem-solving ensures that emotions support effective action rather than hinder it. Each success reinforces confidence in handling difficulty, creating a feedback loop where competence fuels emotional stability and emotional stability supports competence. Routine and structure stabilize emotions during periods of uncertainty. Establishing predictable daily habits creates a sense of control and reduces anxiety when external circumstances fluctuate. Discipline in scheduling work, rest, and reflection reinforces mental clarity, providing a steady foundation for resilience. Structured routines also support consistent action, ensuring that setbacks do not derail progress or undermine emotional stability. Gradual exposure to challenges strengthens emotional endurance. Deliberately taking on manageable stressors builds tolerance and teaches the mind that discomfort is temporary and navigable. Each controlled encounter with difficulty reduces sensitivity to stress and strengthens the capacity for calm, rational responses under pressure. This incremental approach ensures that resilience grows steadily rather than being dependent on rare, high-stakes experiences. Mindset plays a decisive role in handling setbacks. Viewing challenges as opportunities for development rather than as threats shifts the emotional response from fear or frustration to curiosity and engagement. Developing a proactive, solution-oriented mindset reduces reactive behavior and strengthens persistence. Each instance of reframing adversity builds neural pathways that favor composure, insight, and confident action, making resilience a predictable outcome of disciplined thought. Gratitude enhances resilience by promoting perspective. Recognizing positive aspects of life, even during difficulty, reduces the intensity of stress and negative emotion. Gratitude shifts attention from perceived loss or hardship to what remains within your control, what has been achieved, and what is available for future effort. Regular practice reinforces emotional balance, increases patience, and strengthens the ability to recover quickly from setbacks. Learning from role models reinforces emotional growth. Observing how others navigate adversity, maintain composure, and achieve goals despite challenges provides actionable strategies and perspective. Role models demonstrate practical applications of resilience and create benchmarks for personal development. Emulating effective behaviors accelerates mastery of emotional endurance and provides evidence that setbacks can be overcome reliably. Flexibility enhances the capacity to handle adversity. Emotional resilience is strengthened by the ability to adapt strategies, adjust expectations, and modify responses when circumstances change. Rigidity amplifies stress, while flexibility allows sustained effort and problem-solving under pressure. Developing adaptive thinking ensures that setbacks do not trigger paralysis or frustration, but prompt constructive action. Forgiveness and release prevent emotional stagnation. Holding on to resentment, guilt, or frustration consumes mental energy and reduces the ability to respond effectively to new challenges. Practicing forgiveness of others and oneself frees emotional resources for growth and action. Emotional release prevents negative experiences from compounding, allowing resilience to remain active and available when new obstacles arise. Visualization of recovery strengthens preparedness. Mentally rehearsing responses to difficult scenarios primes the mind for calm, deliberate action. Visualizing overcoming obstacles reinforces confidence and reduces emotional reactivity. Combining visualization with practical exposure to challenges integrates mental rehearsal and real-world experience, deepening emotional endurance. Internal locus of control reinforces resilience. Believing that effort, decisions, and strategies influence outcomes encourages proactive engagement with challenges. Externalizing blame or attributing setbacks solely to circumstances weakens confidence and emotional stability. Cultivating a mindset of personal responsibility ensures that energy is directed toward action, reinforcing the capacity to recover and adapt after setbacks. Persistence is central to emotional resilience. Continuous effort despite discomfort, difficulty, or temporary failure strengthens the mind's capacity to endure stress. Each instance of sustained action reinforces the belief that challenges are manageable and that setbacks are temporary. Persistence builds an internal standard of reliability, enabling confident responses under pressure and cultivating a durable sense of self-trust. Boundaries protect emotional energy. Recognizing limits, avoiding unnecessary stressors, and prioritizing focus allows the mind to conserve resources for high-value challenges. Emotional resilience is strengthened when energy is allocated effectively and distractions, negativity, or unnecessary conflict are minimized. Establishing boundaries ensures that setbacks do not overwhelm emotional capacity and that recovery remains swift and deliberate. Through deliberate practice, emotional resilience becomes a stable foundation for confidence and achievement. Awareness, regulation, preparation, reflection, problem-solving, perspective, flexibility, persistence, accountability, and physical discipline integrate to create a mind capable of withstanding pressure, recovering from setbacks, and responding with clarity. Each challenge encountered, each setback overcome, and each lesson learned strengthens the internal architecture of endurance. Over time, resilience is not a reaction but a reliable, cultivated state that enables consistent action, thoughtful decision-making, and unwavering confidence in the face of adversity. Chapter 6. Take bold risks to accelerate personal growth consistently. Taking bold risks is essential for meaningful personal growth because it forces you out of familiar patterns and into situations that demand skill, courage, and adaptation. Growth rarely occurs in comfort. It arises when you engage with the unknown, test your limits, and accept the possibility of failure as part of the learning process. Bold action is not reckless. It is deliberate, calculated, and aligned with your long-term objectives. The first step is to identify opportunities that challenge you significantly, where the potential reward justifies the effort and risk involved. These opportunities are markers of potential transformation, places where your capacity can expand if you act decisively. Preparation is key to managing risk effectively. Assess the situation carefully, analyze potential outcomes, and identify resources that can support you. Understanding the terrain of the challenge reduces uncertainty and enhances confidence. Preparing mentally, emotionally, and practically allows you to step into high-stakes situations with composure and purpose. Preparation transforms fear into anticipation and hesitation into deliberate action. By equipping yourself thoroughly, the act of taking a risk becomes an exercise in strategy rather than impulsivity. Start with calculated risks that stretch your abilities without overwhelming your capacity. Incremental exposure to challenging circumstances builds confidence and competence. Each successful engagement with risk reinforces your belief in your capabilities and increases your tolerance for future challenges. Bold action accumulates experience, providing practical knowledge and psychological proof that you can navigate uncertainty effectively. Progressively escalating the difficulty of the risks you take ensures continuous growth while maintaining a foundation of skill and confidence. Commitment is crucial when taking risks. Half-hearted effort or reluctance undermines both learning and results. Once you decide to act, fully engage with the challenge, applying focus, energy, and discipline to every step. Commitment signals to your mind that the situation demands your best, mobilizing your skills and attention for optimal performance. The intensity of engagement is directly proportional to the growth you achieve. Discipline ensures that bold action translates into lasting development rather than fleeting attempts. Emotional control is essential in high-risk situations. The mind often amplifies fear, doubt, and hesitation when uncertainty is present. Recognizing these reactions as natural allows you to maintain clarity and make rational decisions. Techniques such as controlled breathing, mental rehearsal, and deliberate focus on actionable steps help manage stress and anxiety. By controlling emotional responses, you convert high-pressure scenarios into opportunities for skill application and self-discovery, strengthening resilience and reinforcing confidence. Accepting the possibility of failure is necessary for bold action. Avoiding risk to prevent mistakes restricts growth and limits potential. Failure is a form of feedback, a source of information that highlights areas for improvement. Each misstep provides insight into strategy, execution, and mindset, allowing refinement for future attempts. Viewing failure as a teacher rather than a judgment on ability transforms risk into a productive, iterative process that accelerates competence and understanding. Reflection after taking risks consolidates learning and increases the value of experience. Analyze what worked, what did not, and how you responded under pressure. Extract lessons that can be applied to future challenges, ensuring that each bold action produces practical knowledge in addition to psychological growth. Reflection converts experience into mastery, turning uncertainty into a guide for future decision-making. By examining the outcomes thoughtfully, you create a feedback loop where risk-taking continuously strengthens both capability and judgment. Decisive action amplifies the impact of risk. Hesitation often leads to missed opportunities and diminished returns. Taking prompt, confident steps demonstrates to yourself and others that you are capable of navigating complexity. Momentum generated by decisive action reinforces courage and competence, establishing a pattern of proactive engagement rather than reactive avoidance. Boldness is contagious. Consistent, decisive action strengthens mental frameworks that expect success through deliberate effort and calculated exposure to challenge. Strategic assessment ensures that risks align with personal goals and values. Random or unaligned risk can produce stress without meaningful development. Evaluate each opportunity for its potential to enhance skill, knowledge, or influence. Focused risks are investments in growth rather than distractions or experiments without purpose. Alignment ensures that the challenges you embrace contribute to measurable progress and meaningful transformation, creating compounding benefits over time. Resilience is developed through repeated exposure to risk. Each encounter with uncertainty, challenge, or potential failure reinforces the ability to endure stress and adapt. Bold action creates experiences that expand capacity for handling adversity. Over time, resilience becomes ingrained, and future risks are approached with confidence rather than hesitation. Repeated practice in challenging situations cultivates a mindset where difficulty is expected, manageable, and useful for personal evolution. Networking and collaboration can enhance risk-taking. Engaging with individuals who have navigated similar challenges provides insight, perspective, and mentorship. Supportive relationships offer guidance and reduce the likelihood of catastrophic error. Collaboration allows for shared responsibility and collective problem solving, which increases the probability of successful outcomes and provides psychological reassurance when facing high-stakes situations. Learning from others accelerates growth while maintaining safety within calculated risk. Persistence ensures that risk-taking produces meaningful results. Initial setbacks or partial failures should not deter continued effort. Each attempt refines skills, strengthens judgment, and expands understanding. Persistence transforms the accumulation of bold actions into a structured progression toward competence and confidence. Consistent engagement with challenging opportunities develops a pattern of growth that compounds over time, reinforcing the habit of proactive courage. Self-awareness informs better decisions under risk. Understanding your strengths, weaknesses, and tendencies allows for deliberate adjustments in strategy. Self-awareness ensures that risks are approached realistically, leveraging capability while mitigating vulnerability. Accurate self-assessment provides a reliable foundation for action and prevents overestimation or underestimation of ability, which can compromise outcomes. Informed risk-taking is deliberate, effective, and sustainable. Visualization enhances performance in uncertain situations. Mentally rehearsing potential scenarios, outcomes, and responses strengthens preparedness and reduces hesitation. Visualization allows the mind to experience success, anticipate challenges, and formulate strategies in a low-risk environment. Coupling mental rehearsal with real-world action improves decision-making, focus, and confidence under pressure. The practice of visualization integrates preparation, skill, and courage into a cohesive approach to bold action. Adaptability is essential when facing unpredictable outcomes. High-risk situations often involve variables beyond control. Flexible thinking allows for rapid adjustment, problem-solving, and continued progress despite changing conditions. Adaptable individuals maintain focus, optimize resources, and respond effectively to surprises, ensuring that risk-taking translates into growth rather than unnecessary setbacks. Resilience and adaptability work together to maximize the value of bold action. Internal dialogue shapes the mindset required for consistent risk-taking, replacing fear-driven thoughts with statements of capability, focus, and strategy reinforces confidence. Mental conditioning aligns perception with skill, ensuring that the mind supports deliberate action rather than sabotage through hesitation or doubt. Constructive internal dialogue strengthens courage, maintains clarity under pressure, and reinforces a proactive approach to challenge. Physical preparation supports effective risk-taking. Energy, stamina, and controlled physiological responses determine the ability to perform under pressure. Regular exercise, rest, and nutrition create the foundation required to face demanding challenges confidently. Physical readiness reduces stress, increases endurance, and enhances the mind-body connection, ensuring that bold action is sustainable and effective over repeated experiences. Continuous learning improves judgment and reduces unnecessary exposure to danger. Understanding relevant skills, context, and strategy allows calculated risks to produce maximum growth. Knowledge enhances confidence, reduces fear, and improves decision-making. Bold action coupled with preparation and learning accelerates development while minimizing avoidable errors. Growth is maximized when action, preparation, and understanding intersect. Celebrating success reinforces behavior. Acknowledging achievements from risk-taking strengthens confidence, motivates continued engagement, and validates the process. Recognition of progress, no matter how small, consolidates learning and encourages sustained courage. Each accomplishment provides evidence that bold action leads to tangible improvement, reinforcing a mindset that embraces challenge consistently. Risk-taking transforms identity by expanding perception of capability. Each bold action, successful or partially successful, alters self-concept to include adaptability, courage, and competence. Repeated exposure to challenge redefines personal boundaries and strengthens belief in potential. Dangerous confidence emerges naturally when the mind is trained to approach uncertainty with preparation, focus, and deliberate action, creating a life defined by capability, growth, and resilience. Chapter 70: Sharpen decision-making to act without hesitation daily. Decision-making is the engine that drives progress, and hesitation is the silent thief of opportunity. Every choice you make, no matter how small, contributes to the trajectory of your life. Sharpening your ability to decide quickly and confidently transforms uncertainty into action and potential into results. Effective decision-making begins with clarity about values, priorities, and objectives. When you understand what matters most, decisions become easier because they are aligned with your internal compass rather than external pressures or fleeting emotions. Clarity reduces ambiguity and strengthens the ability to act decisively under pressure. The first step in improving decisions is gathering relevant information efficiently. Avoid overanalyzing or waiting for perfect knowledge because perfection is rarely attainable. Collect the data necessary to make an informed choice and identify what is essential versus what is extraneous. Focusing on critical factors allows for confident action without being paralyzed by irrelevant details. Decision-making is not about eliminating risk entirely. It is about making the best possible choice with the information at hand and committing to act. Speed and consistency are critical in developing decisiveness. The mind strengthens patterns through repetition, and habitual, timely decisions build confidence over time. Delaying action for fear of error weakens resolve and erodes momentum. Each time you choose promptly and follow through, you reinforce neural pathways associated with clarity, judgment, and action. This creates a feedback loop where fast, deliberate decision-making becomes a natural response rather than a struggle. Emotional regulation enhances the quality of choices. Decisions made under stress, fear, or anger are rarely optimal. Techniques such as deep breathing, pausing briefly, and mentally reframing the situation reduce emotional interference. By managing internal reactions, you ensure that decisions are based on rational assessment and strategic thinking rather than temporary impulses. Emotional control allows clarity and consistency, even in high-stakes or uncertain environments. Risk assessment is essential for confident decision-making. Evaluating potential outcomes, benefits, and consequences provides perspective and informs action. Understanding which risks are acceptable and which are avoidable empowers you to act decisively without hesitation. Calculated risk is the hallmark of effective choices, turning uncertainty into a structured environment for growth. Each assessment strengthens judgment and reduces future hesitation. Simplifying options improves clarity. Too many choices create confusion and delay. Narrow possibilities to a manageable number, focusing on those that align with goals and values. Eliminating unnecessary complexity allows the mind to commit to action more efficiently. Simplicity in decision-making strengthens confidence because the path forward is clear and the steps to follow are defined. Developing intuition complements rational assessment. Intuition is built through experience, reflection, and observation. Recognizing patterns from past successes and failures allows rapid, confident judgments in similar situations. Intuition does not replace careful analysis, but integrates knowledge, experience, and insight, allowing swift action where deliberation is impractical. Practicing decisions consistently enhances intuitive accuracy over time. Accountability reinforces decision quality. Sharing intentions with mentors, peers, or trusted advisors encourages follow-through and provides feedback. Accountability creates external pressure to act decisively and reduces the tendency to procrastinate. Feedback from others helps identify blind spots, strengthens judgment, and ensures that choices are aligned with reality rather than distorted perception. Social accountability builds both confidence and consistency in daily decision-making. Reflection after each decision strengthens future performance. Analyze what worked, what did not, and why. Identifying patterns of success and error enhances judgment for subsequent choices. Reflection ensures that each decision contributes to long-term skill development rather than being a one-time action. By systematically reviewing outcomes, decision-making becomes increasingly accurate, faster, and more confident over time. Setting clear priorities supports effective choice-making. Understand which actions produce the greatest impact toward your goals and focus decisions accordingly. When priorities are explicit, the mind quickly evaluates options based on value and relevance. This reduces hesitation caused by indecision or distraction. Consistently aligning choices with priorities develops a disciplined, reliable pattern of action that accelerates progress. Commitment is essential once a decision is made. Acting decisively requires full engagement and follow-through. Half-hearted implementation undermines confidence and reduces the effectiveness of action. Commitment transforms intention into tangible results and reinforces the mind's ability to act promptly in future situations. Each successful follow-through strengthens belief in competence and the ability to manage complexity effectively. Anticipating consequences enhances strategic decision-making. Consider short-term effects, long-term outcomes, and potential chain reactions of each choice. This forward-thinking approach reduces unintended consequences and improves confidence. Understanding the implications of action allows for proactive adjustments and demonstrates control over outcomes. Planning for consequences strengthens judgment and minimizes hesitation when facing uncertainty. Learning from mistakes is crucial. Every suboptimal decision provides valuable insight. Analyze why the outcome differed from expectation and adjust methods accordingly. Failure is feedback, not judgment. Consistently applying lessons from previous errors builds competence, reduces fear of error, and reinforces the habit of acting decisively despite uncertainty. Each corrected mistake strengthens the decision-making framework and accelerates personal growth. Developing routines for common decisions increases efficiency. For repetitive or familiar choices, establish clear procedures or criteria to streamline action. Reducing cognitive load for predictable situations frees energy for complex, high-stakes decisions. Routines reinforce consistency, prevent unnecessary hesitation, and allow focus on priorities that require careful judgment. Consistent structure enhances both speed and quality of choices. Time-bound decisions prevent analysis paralysis. Set limits for evaluation and commit to act within those parameters. Deadlines create pressure that encourages efficiency and prevents procrastination. Practicing time-constrained decision-making trains the mind to weigh options quickly, trust judgment, and act decisively. Over time, this develops the ability to navigate uncertainty without hesitation. Awareness of cognitive biases improves objectivity. Recognize tendencies such as overconfidence, confirmation bias, or aversion to loss. Adjust thinking to mitigate distortion and ensure choices are aligned with reality. Objective evaluation enhances decision quality, reduces errors, and strengthens confidence in judgment. Each instance of bias recognition reinforces the capacity for rational, timely decisions. Mindset affects speed and confidence in decision-making. Viewing choices as opportunities for growth rather than threats encourages prompt action. Embracing responsibility for outcomes fosters ownership and reduces hesitation. A proactive mindset aligns action with values, diminishes fear, and reinforces the habit of decisive engagement. Mental framing transforms uncertainty into a platform for confident, deliberate choice. Preparation strengthens decision capacity under pressure. Anticipating scenarios, developing contingency plans, and organizing resources allows rapid responses when urgent choices arise. Preparation reduces stress, enhances clarity, and ensures that the mind has structured options ready for immediate execution. Deliberate readiness turns uncertainty into manageable challenges and reinforces trust in one's judgment. Confidence is built through practice. Regularly making decisions, reviewing outcomes, and adjusting methods strengthens belief in one's ability to act effectively. Competence grows cumulatively, and hesitation diminishes as evidence accumulates that choices lead to progress. Confidence and decisiveness reinforce each other in a continuous cycle of growth and action. Decision-making shapes identity. Each choice, particularly those made promptly and intentionally, reinforces a sense of capability, responsibility, and control over life's direction. Developing the habit of acting without hesitation creates a mindset where challenges are approached proactively, opportunities are seized, and growth is accelerated. Decisive action becomes not just behavior but a core aspect of personal character and competence. Chapter 80. Practice relentless focus to eliminate distractions from life. Focus is the ability to direct attention intentionally and consistently toward a goal, while filtering out distractions that dilute effort and slow progress. Relentless focus is not something that happens by chance. It is a skill developed through discipline, awareness, and deliberate action. Life presents countless interruptions, from external noise to internal mental chatter, and the difference between average results and extraordinary outcomes is the ability to sustain attention despite these challenges. The first step in mastering focus is to define a clear objective. Clarity provides a target for attention, and without a specific aim, energy disperses across competing priorities. Knowing precisely what requires concentration allows the mind to align with purpose, transforming effort into measurable progress. Eliminating distractions begins with controlling the environment. Physical surroundings influence mental capacity, and clutter or disorganization creates cognitive noise that fragments attention. Organize spaces to support sustained work, remove unnecessary stimuli, and create zones for specific tasks. Digital distractions are equally significant. Turning off notifications, limiting social media, and using focused applications prevent interruptions from fragmenting thought. By designing an environment conducive to deep work, focus becomes easier and more natural rather than a constant struggle. Discipline underpins focus. Attention requires intentionality and repeated practice to strengthen. Establishing routines that prioritize high-value activities trains the mind to resist temptation and maintain engagement. Consistency transforms focus into habit, reducing reliance on fleeting motivation. Each session of uninterrupted work reinforces the neural pathways that support sustained attention, increasing efficiency and mental endurance. Discipline ensures that focus is a skill that grows stronger over time rather than a variable that depends on mood or circumstance. Time management is a critical tool for sustaining attention. Allocating specific blocks of time for defined tasks prevents diffusion of effort and encourages full engagement. Scheduling focused work periods creates predictability and reduces decision fatigue. Structuring time around priorities ensures that the most impactful activities receive maximum energy, while less important matters are deferred or delegated. Time-bound focus enhances productivity, reinforces consistency, and strengthens the mental habit of sustained attention. Internal self-awareness enhances concentration. Understanding personal energy rhythms, peak focus hours, and mental fatigue patterns allows work to be scheduled optimally. Awareness of mental tendencies, such as susceptibility to distraction or procrastination triggers, enables preemptive strategies to maintain attention. By observing thought patterns, habits, and impulses, individuals can design routines that reinforce focus rather than allow scattered effort to dominate. Self-awareness transforms attention from passive drift into deliberate control. Breaking tasks into smaller components enhances focus. Large, undefined objectives can overwhelm attention and encourage procrastination. Dividing work into actionable steps creates a clear roadmap for engagement. Small, achievable goals allow consistent momentum and reinforce mental clarity. Completing incremental actions provides tangible evidence of progress. maintains motivation, and strengthens the habit of concentrated effort. This approach ensures that focus is sustainable and consistently productive. Single tasking amplifies results. Attempting multiple tasks simultaneously divides attention and reduces effectiveness. Concentrating on one objective at a time allows full cognitive resources to be applied, producing higher quality output and faster progress. Single tasking trains the brain to sustain attention, reinforces discipline, and reduces mental fatigue. By focusing entirely on one activity before transitioning, the mind becomes adept at sustained engagement and deliberate action. Mindfulness strengthens focus by increasing present moment awareness. Practicing attention to current tasks without judgment enhances the ability to resist internal distractions, such as wandering thoughts or self-doubt. Mindfulness trains mental clarity, reduces anxiety, and improves decision-making under pressure. By cultivating the capacity to remain fully engaged in each moment, attention becomes a controlled tool rather than a passive reaction to stimuli. Regular reflection reinforces the effectiveness of focus. Reviewing accomplishments, analyzing time allocation, and identifying sources of distraction provide insight into patterns of attention. Reflection enables adjustment of routines, priorities, and strategies to maximize concentration. Continuous evaluation transforms effort into skill, ensuring that focus is deliberate, efficient, and aligned with objectives. Reflection consolidates learning and strengthens the discipline required for sustained attention. Motivation and purpose amplify focus. Understanding why an action is necessary provides a mental anchor that directs attention naturally. Goals with meaning sustain energy and reduce susceptibility to distraction. When work is aligned with values and aspirations, attention flows toward priorities rather than being hijacked by trivial matters. Clear purpose transforms focus from a forced effort into a consistent, internally reinforced process. Physical well-being supports mental attention. Adequate rest, nutrition, and exercise provide the energy necessary to sustain focus over extended periods. Mental clarity deteriorates when the body is fatigued or depleted. Prioritizing health ensures that the mind is capable of concentrated effort, and physical preparation reinforces the mental endurance required for sustained attention. Energy management is inseparable from the ability to maintain relentless focus. Accountability reinforces concentrated action. Sharing objectives with mentors, peers, or supportive communities creates external reinforcement to sustain attention. Knowing that progress will be observed encourages commitment and reduces susceptibility to distractions. Accountability provides feedback that strengthens engagement and motivates persistent effort, ensuring that focus is not easily abandoned under competing pressures. Visualization enhances the ability to concentrate on objectives. Mentally rehearsing tasks, outcomes, and processes prepares the mind for deliberate action. Visualization primes the brain for efficient attention allocation, improves confidence in performance, and reduces hesitation. By practicing scenarios internally, execution becomes more fluid, precise, and focused when applied in reality. Visualization links intention with action, strengthening concentration and effectiveness. Incremental improvement builds attention endurance. Gradually increasing the duration and intensity of focused effort trains mental stamina. Start with manageable periods of concentrated work and expand as capacity grows. Each increment strengthens the habit of sustained attention, improving both quality and efficiency of output. Over time, the mind becomes capable of prolonged engagement without fatigue or distraction. Prioritizing tasks ensures that attention is directed where it matters most. Not all work carries equal value, and scattered effort dilutes results. Focus on high-impact activities that advance objectives significantly. Declining low-value tasks or delegating responsibilities preserves cognitive resources for priorities. Strategic allocation of attention maximizes productivity and reinforces the habit of concentrated effort on meaningful outcomes. Resilience in focus develops through repeated exposure to challenges. Interruptions, obstacles, and competing demands test the ability to sustain attention. Persisting through difficulties strengthens mental endurance and reinforces the capacity for disciplined engagement. Each instance of overcoming distraction or maintaining concentration under pressure increases confidence in the ability to act effectively. Resilient focus becomes a skill rather than a fragile state dependent on ideal conditions. Eliminating mental clutter strengthens sustained attention. Organizing thoughts, setting intentions, and clearing cognitive noise reduces internal distractions. Journaling, planning, and prioritizing ideas provide structure for action and prevent scattered effort. A clear mind allows concentrated energy to flow toward essential tasks, enhancing both efficiency and effectiveness. Mental organization supports relentless focus by removing obstacles to sustained attention. Rewarding progress reinforces attention habits. Acknowledging achievements and recognizing milestones strengthens motivation and encourages continued engagement. Positive reinforcement consolidates habits of sustained focus, creating psychological feedback that encourages persistence and disciplined effort. Each success validates the benefits of concentrated action, reinforcing the choice to prioritize attention over distraction. Focus shapes identity and results. Practicing relentless concentration transforms not only productivity, but also mindset, discipline, and resilience. Each session of deliberate attention reinforces mental strength, efficiency, and confidence. The habit of sustained focus becomes an automatic tool that allows you to navigate complexity, achieve goals, and maintain composure under pressure. Mastery of attention is the foundation of achievement and the cornerstone of consistent, measurable personal growth. Chapter 9: Embrace failure to extract lessons and gain strength. Failure is not an endpoint, but a critical step in the process of growth, skill development, and self-mastery. Every person encounters setbacks, mistakes, and disappointments, but the difference between those who stagnate and those who advance lies in how they respond. Embracing failure means seeing it as a source of information, a mirror that reflects areas for improvement, and an opportunity to cultivate resilience. The first step in leveraging failure is to remove the stigma attached to it. Mistakes are not indicators of inadequacy, they are natural byproducts of action and experimentation. Accepting this truth allows the mind to engage with challenges without fear of judgment or shame, freeing energy to analyze and learn from outcomes. Observing failure objectively strengthens insight. Step back and examine what occurred, separating facts from emotional reaction. Identify specific actions, decisions, or assumptions that contributed to the result. This analytical approach prevents repeated errors and converts disappointment into a roadmap for improvement. Objectivity transforms the emotional sting of failure into actionable knowledge. By detaching ego from outcome, every setback becomes a teacher rather than a burden. Reflection is essential for growth from failure. Review the sequence of events, consider alternative strategies, and note lessons learned. Record observations in a journal or structured format to reinforce learning. This practice converts ephemeral experiences into permanent knowledge, providing a reference for future decisions. Reflection ensures that mistakes do not fade into repetition, but instead inform increasingly competent behavior. Resilience is strengthened by repeated engagement with failure. Experiencing setbacks builds mental toughness, patience, and composure. Each encounter demonstrates that temporary defeat is manageable and does not define personal capability. Confronting failure intentionally, even in controlled challenges, trains the mind to recover quickly and act decisively afterward. This iterative exposure builds a foundation for confidence and sustained progress. Adaptability is enhanced through failure. Mistakes highlight the need for flexibility in approach, perspective, or methodology. Those who embrace failure are more willing to adjust strategies and consider alternative solutions rather than persisting blindly. Learning to pivot effectively turns challenges into opportunities for innovation and strengthens problem-solving skills. Adaptation ensures that failure is a catalyst for growth rather than a roadblock. Emotional regulation is crucial when facing setbacks. Failure often triggers frustration, disappointment, or self-doubt. Recognizing these reactions without allowing them to dictate behavior maintains clarity and decision-making capacity. Techniques such as controlled breathing, mindful awareness, and deliberate reframing reduce emotional interference and allow constructive action. Emotional stability reinforces resilience and accelerates the process of learning from failure. Failure enhances self-awareness. Examining mistakes reveals blind spots, habits, and tendencies that may undermine performance. Understanding personal strengths and weaknesses allows focused improvement and better alignment with objectives. This heightened self-awareness improves decision-making, prioritization, and strategic thinking in future endeavors. By embracing the truth revealed by failure, individuals can strengthen their capacity to act effectively and consistently. Persistence converts failure into progress. Continuing effort despite setbacks ensures that mistakes become stepping stones rather than obstacles. Each attempt, informed by prior experience, builds competence and confidence. Persistence reinforces the principle that skill and achievement emerge from repeated action, reflection, and adjustment. The combination of resilience, insight, and determination turns failure into a structured pathway toward mastery. Accountability amplifies the lessons of failure. Sharing experiences with mentors, peers, or trusted advisors provides alternative perspectives and constructive critique. External feedback complements internal reflection, highlighting areas overlooked or misjudged. Accountability transforms isolated experiences into guided learning, accelerating improvement and strengthening confidence. Engaging with others ensures that failure becomes a collaborative source of insight rather than a solitary burden. Strategic risk-taking is informed by failure. Previous mistakes illuminate potential pitfalls and reveal patterns in decision-making. Incorporating this knowledge allows more deliberate, calculated actions in subsequent endeavors. Each experience reduces uncertainty and enhances judgment, creating a feedback loop where failure informs strategy and increases the likelihood of future success. Risk becomes measured, purposeful, and growth-oriented. Growth mindset is reinforced through failure, viewing mistakes as opportunities to develop skills rather than evidence of limitation shifts perspective from fear to engagement. This mindset encourages experimentation, curiosity, and proactive problem-solving. Cultivating a growth-oriented approach transforms every setback into a platform for learning, making failure a necessary and productive component of personal evolution. Self-compassion strengthens resilience to failure. Harsh self-criticism undermines confidence and increases avoidance of risk. Treating oneself with understanding while acknowledging mistakes allows reflection without discouragement. Balanced self-assessment supports constructive learning, preserving motivation and energy for future attempts. Compassion ensures that failure nurtures improvement rather than eroding effort. Preparation improves responses to failure. Anticipating potential obstacles and planning for contingencies reduces the impact of setbacks. Being mentally and practically ready allows mistakes to be corrected promptly and efficiently, minimizing disruption. Preparation transforms failure from chaos into a structured opportunity for skill refinement. Strategic readiness reinforces the mind's capacity to act decisively even when plans falter. Visualization reinforces learning from mistakes. Mentally rehearsing scenarios and responses allows rehearsal of adjustments before encountering them in reality. Visualization enhances awareness, improves judgment, and increases confidence when dealing with unexpected outcomes. Integrating mental rehearsal with experience ensures that each setback contributes to actionable competence and reduces hesitation in future challenges. Patience is cultivated through repeated failure. Progress is rarely linear, and mastery emerges through sustained effort over time. Accepting gradual improvement reduces frustration and reinforces the habit of consistent action despite temporary setbacks. Patience supports resilience, maintains motivation, and ensures that learning from failure is absorbed fully and applied effectively. Perspective prevents failure from defining self-worth. One setback does not diminish intrinsic capability or long-term potential. Situating mistakes within the broader trajectory of effort and progress reduces emotional impact and allows focus to return to constructive action. Perspective transforms disappointment into a temporary signal rather than a verdict on ability or value. Curiosity drives the lessons of failure. Asking why a mistake occurred, how it could be avoided, and what insight can be gained turns setbacks into a proactive learning process. Curious engagement with outcomes fosters deeper understanding and strengthens the capacity to anticipate challenges and navigate complexity effectively. Curiosity converts failure into a deliberate tool for personal development. Incremental improvement converts repeated failure into steady progress. Applying lessons from mistakes consistently ensures that knowledge becomes practice and understanding becomes skill. Small adjustments accumulate over time, producing measurable growth and reinforcing confidence in capability. Continuous refinement transforms the experience of failure from discouragement into a methodical process of mastery. Confidence emerges naturally from embracing failure. Each setback overcome, each lesson applied, and each incremental improvement builds evidence that challenges are navigable and effort produces results. Recognizing the constructive value of failure removes fear and allows bold, decisive action. Confidence becomes a byproduct of experience, reflection, and disciplined engagement with risk and challenge. Identity is reshaped by failure. Individuals who learn from mistakes develop resilience, adaptability, and strength of character. Embracing failure demonstrates commitment to growth, the courage to face uncertainty, and the discipline to extract lessons systematically. Over time, the capacity to act decisively despite setbacks becomes a defining trait, reinforcing both personal power and long-term achievement. Chapter Hyundai, set powerful boundaries to protect your energy and time. Setting boundaries is a fundamental act of self-respect and a practical necessity for preserving energy, focus, and productivity. Boundaries are not limitations imposed on life arbitrarily. They are deliberate decisions that define what is acceptable, productive, and aligned with personal goals. Without boundaries, time and energy are constantly siphoned by distractions, obligations, and the demands of others, leaving little room for meaningful action. The first step in establishing powerful boundaries is understanding your priorities. Clarifying what truly matters in your personal and professional life provides a framework for decisions about how time and attention are allocated. When priorities are clear, boundaries become easier to identify and enforce because they support tangible outcomes rather than abstract ideals. Self-awareness is crucial in boundary setting. Recognize your limits, energy patterns, and capacity for engagement. Understanding where you are most vulnerable to overcommitment allows you to protect critical resources proactively. Boundaries are effective only when they are tailored to your needs, strengths, and lifestyle. Observing patterns of exhaustion, frustration, or distraction highlights areas where limits must be established. Awareness ensures that boundaries are rooted in self-care and strategic management rather than reactionary behavior. Communication is the cornerstone of effective boundaries. Clearly expressing limits to others prevents misunderstandings and reinforces accountability. Whether in personal relationships, workplace interactions, or social obligations, stating what you will and will not accept protects both time and energy. Assertive communication conveys confidence and clarity without hostility or defensiveness. By articulating boundaries directly, you create an environment that respects your focus and priorities, reducing unnecessary stress and conflict. Discipline reinforces the enforcement of boundaries. Setting limits is insufficient without consistent adherence. Each time a boundary is upheld, the mind strengthens the neural pathways associated with self-respect, focus, and intentional action. Discipline trains both internal resolve and external perception, signaling to others that your time and energy are valuable and protected. Consistent enforcement prevents erosion of boundaries over time and establishes a sustainable structure for productive living. Time management is directly enhanced by boundaries. Allocating periods for work, rest, and personal development ensures that energy is applied strategically. Declining requests or activities that do not support priorities preserves mental bandwidth for high-impact efforts. Boundaries prevent overextension and allow focused engagement with tasks that matter most. Structured allocation of time creates predictability, reduces stress, and supports consistent progress toward goals. Technology and digital boundaries are essential in modern life. Constant notifications, social media, and messaging disrupt attention and fragment energy. Designating specific periods for communication, limiting exposure to low-value content, and using tools to block distractions reinforces mental clarity. Digital boundaries transform devices from drains on attention into supportive instruments that enhance efficiency and control. Protecting focus in the digital realm amplifies both productivity and mental resilience. Saying no is a skill central to boundary setting. Refusing requests or invitations that do not align with priorities preserves energy and reinforces focus. Saying no respectfully but firmly communicates self-respect and prevents overcommitment. Each refusal strengthens the ability to act in accordance with goals and reduces the accumulation of stress from scattered obligations. Mastery of this skill ensures that resources are invested where they generate the greatest impact. Physical and emotional boundaries protect well-being. Recognize when interactions, environments, or behaviors drain energy or compromise mental clarity. Limiting exposure to negativity, criticism, or toxic influences safeguards resilience. Emotional regulation combined with selective engagement ensures that personal energy is directed toward constructive and supportive experiences. Protecting psychological space strengthens both confidence and capacity for sustained effort. Routine supports boundary effectiveness. Establishing structured patterns for work, rest, and personal pursuits creates natural limits on overextension. Routines reduce decision fatigue, clarify expectations, and embed boundaries into daily life seamlessly. Repeated practice solidifies habits of self-protection, making boundaries automatic rather than negotiable. Structured patterns maintain consistency, reduce stress, and enhance overall efficiency. Accountability reinforces boundary adherence. Sharing commitments with mentors, peers, or trusted colleagues encourages follow-through and strengthens resolve. Feedback from others provides perspective on areas where boundaries may be compromised and highlights opportunities for reinforcement. Social accountability amplifies internal discipline and helps maintain clarity in situations where pressure to overcommit arises. Reflection strengthens boundary strategy. Regularly reviewing how time and energy are spent reveals gaps, weaknesses, and areas for improvement. Adjusting boundaries based on experience ensures they remain aligned with goals, personal capacity, and evolving priorities. Reflection converts boundary management from a static decision into a dynamic, adaptive system that supports continuous improvement. Prioritization maximizes the effectiveness of boundaries. Not all demands are equal, and discerning between essential and non-essential obligations ensures energy is applied to meaningful work. Focused engagement with high-priority activities reduces wasted effort and reinforces the purpose of limits. Effective prioritization transforms boundaries from defensive measures into proactive tools for achieving long-term objectives. Consistency is crucial in boundary maintenance. Each lapse weakens credibility and encourages repeated violations. Upholding limits reliably reinforces self-respect, builds trust with others, and strengthens personal discipline. Over time, consistent enforcement of boundaries creates a predictable environment where attention and energy are protected, enabling sustained high performance. Flexibility complements firmness. While boundaries are essential, rigid application can create unnecessary conflict or missed opportunities. Strategic adjustment based on context ensures that boundaries remain effective without being counterproductive. Flexibility allows for responsiveness to evolving circumstances while preserving core principles of energy and time management. Balancing firmness with adaptability enhances both effectiveness and relationships. Self-compassion supports boundary enforcement. Recognizing that setting and maintaining limits is a form of self-respect encourages commitment to action without guilt. Treating yourself kindly while upholding boundaries strengthens resolve, maintains motivation, and reinforces the habit of protection without emotional conflict. Compassion ensures that boundaries are a tool for empowerment rather than a source of internal tension. Delegation extends the power of boundaries. Assigning responsibilities to others reduces overcommitment and ensures focus remains on high-priority tasks. Delegation allows for energy to be directed strategically, maximizing impact and reinforcing personal control over outcomes. Effective delegation amplifies both efficiency and the ability to maintain boundaries consistently. Monitoring energy levels informs boundary adjustments. Observing fluctuations in focus, stamina, and motivation allows preemptive protection of resources. Adjusting commitments according to energy capacity prevents burnout and ensures sustainable engagement. Awareness of personal limits strengthens the ability to act decisively in preserving time and attention. Environmental design enhances boundary effectiveness, structuring physical and virtual spaces to minimize interruptions, clutter, and noise supports sustained focus and productivity. Intentional organization reinforces limits on distraction and provides a framework for concentrated effort. The environment becomes an ally in protecting energy and attention. Celebrating boundary success reinforces behavior. Recognizing when limits are maintained successfully strengthens commitment and encourages continued practice. Positive reinforcement validates the value of protecting time and energy, embedding the principle of self-preservation into habit. Each acknowledgement of success reinforces both discipline and confidence in boundary management. Boundaries shape identity and results. Individuals who consistently protect their energy and time develop clarity, resilience, and mastery over priorities. The practice of setting and maintaining limits cultivates self-respect, strengthens focus, and accelerates progress toward meaningful goals. Over time, boundaries become a defining principle of behavior, supporting sustained achievement, personal empowerment, and consistent growth. Chapter 11. Speak assertively to express yourself with clear confidence. Speaking assertively is a skill that transforms communication from passive reaction or aggressive confrontation into clear, confident expression. Assertive communication allows ideas, needs, and boundaries to be conveyed respectfully and directly, creating understanding and influence without compromising integrity. The foundation of assertiveness begins with self-awareness. Understanding personal values, priorities, and feelings provides the clarity necessary to articulate positions confidently. When internal alignment exists, speech becomes a tool for precision rather than a vehicle for uncertainty or appeasement. Awareness of intentions ensures that words convey purpose and are grounded in authenticity, which strengthens credibility and influence. Confidence in speech requires preparation. Knowing what to say, why it matters, and the desired outcome creates a framework for clear expression. Thoughtful preparation reduces hesitation, prevents confusion, and reinforces authority in conversation. Preparing responses to potential objections or questions improves composure and allows communication to remain focused even under pressure. Anticipation of dialogue ensures that assertive expression is deliberate and effective. Tone and body language are essential components of assertive communication. Speaking clearly, maintaining steady eye contact, and using open posture conveys conviction and presence. The voice should reflect certainty without aggression, balancing firmness with approachability. Nonverbal signals reinforce verbal messages, creating consistency that builds trust and respect. Mastering body language amplifies clarity and ensures that assertiveness is perceived positively rather than confrontationally. Clarity is critical when speaking assertively. Avoid vague language, filler words, or excessive qualifiers that dilute the message. Express ideas directly and concisely, focusing on key points that align with objectives. Clear communication prevents misunderstanding, reduces ambiguity, and demonstrates confidence in both content and delivery. Conciseness ensures that words carry impact and authority. Active listening supports assertiveness. Engaging fully with others, acknowledging their points, and responding thoughtfully demonstrates respect while maintaining one's own position. Listening does not weaken assertiveness, it strengthens credibility by showing comprehension and consideration. Balancing speaking with attentive listening ensures that communication is both confident and relational, fostering understanding rather than confrontation. Boundaries are expressed through assertive speech, clearly stating what is acceptable, what is needed, or what will not be tolerated protects personal energy, priorities, and goals. Boundaries communicated confidently prevent manipulation, overcommitment, or passive compliance. Assertive statements that define limits reinforce personal discipline and signal strength without hostility. Boundaries conveyed effectively support self-respect and mutual understanding. Handling disagreement with assertiveness requires composure. Disputes are approached with calm reasoning rather than defensiveness or emotional reaction. Presenting evidence, explaining rationale, and maintaining focus on solutions ensures that expression remains firm and constructive. Remaining composed during conflict demonstrates control, reinforces credibility, and strengthens the ability to influence outcomes positively. Practice builds assertive skill. Frequent engagement in conversations, presentations, and negotiations develops fluency, timing, and confidence. Starting with low-stakes situations and gradually applying assertiveness to complex interactions allows competence to grow naturally. Each successful interaction reinforces the capacity to express ideas clearly and maintain poise under varying circumstances. Repetition converts deliberate effort into habitual confidence. Self-reflection strengthens communication over time. Evaluating previous interactions for clarity, tone, and effectiveness provides insight into strengths and areas for improvement. Reflection allows adjustment of language, delivery, and strategy to enhance impact in future conversations. Continuous assessment ensures that assertive communication evolves rather than remaining static, improving both influence and confidence consistently. Emotional regulation underpins assertiveness. Managing feelings of frustration, fear, or insecurity prevents reactive or aggressive speech. Calm engagement ensures that words convey purpose and confidence rather than emotion-driven impulse. Emotional control enables focus on objectives, strengthens credibility, and allows dialogue to remain solution-oriented and persuasive. Assertive communication enhances decision-making. Expressing preferences, needs, and perspectives clearly allows collaboration and negotiation to proceed efficiently. Decisions are informed by transparency and directness, reducing misunderstandings and accelerating action. Speaking with clarity supports alignment, accountability, and mutual respect in group and individual settings. Storytelling and examples amplify assertive expression. Illustrating points with concrete evidence or experience reinforces credibility and engages listeners. Well-chosen examples communicate reasoning effectively, making abstract ideas tangible and persuasive. Storytelling complements assertiveness by connecting ideas with practical relevance and demonstrating competence in both thought and action. Confidence grows through incremental success. Each instance of clear, direct expression reinforces self-belief and reduces anxiety in future interactions. Successful assertive communication builds a feedback loop where competence strengthens confidence and confidence enhances expression. Gradual mastery ensures that assertiveness becomes habitual and natural rather than forced or tentative. Curiosity enhances assertiveness in conversation. Asking thoughtful questions demonstrates engagement while maintaining clarity of position. Inquiry fosters dialogue without surrendering authority, allowing understanding of other perspectives while retaining confidence in one's own stance. Balanced curiosity ensures communication is both firm and collaborative, expanding influence and comprehension simultaneously. Managing interruptions strengthens expressive control. Maintaining composure when interrupted and responding without aggression ensures that messages remain clear and authoritative. Techniques such as calmly redirecting attention, pausing briefly, and restating key points reinforce command of conversation. Effective management of interruptions maintains clarity, focus, and confidence in dialogue. Positive framing reinforces assertiveness. Presenting ideas in terms of solutions, benefits, or constructive outcomes reduces resistance and engages cooperation. Confidence expressed through positive framing strengthens persuasiveness, inspires collaboration, and reduces defensiveness in others. Framing communication around opportunity rather than conflict enhances credibility and influence. Assertive communication cultivates respect. Consistent clarity, honesty, and confidence in expression establish a reputation for reliability and competence. Respect from others emerges naturally when communication is intentional, measured, and principled. Speaking assertively reinforces both external perception and internal belief, strengthening overall personal authority. Negotiation skills are enhanced through assertiveness. Clearly stating needs, listening to alternatives, and maintaining composure ensures that agreements are reached effectively without compromising core objectives. Negotiation conducted with confidence and clarity produces mutually beneficial outcomes and reinforces personal credibility. Assertive negotiation aligns expression with goals while respecting others' perspectives. Consistency solidifies assertiveness. Repeated demonstration of clear, confident communication reinforces identity, builds trust, and establishes habitual clarity. Consistency ensures that assertive behavior is recognized, respected, and expected, creating predictable influence and authority over time. Speaking assertively shapes both internal mindset and external impact. Clear expression reinforces self-belief, strengthens decision-making, and accelerates progress toward goals. Confidence in communication becomes a tool for influence, respect, and personal growth, transforming conversations into purposeful, outcome-driven interactions. Mastery of assertive expression is a defining element of personal power, discipline, and sustained success. Chapter 120. Visualize success to train your mind for achievement. Taking full responsibility for your life is the foundation of personal power and lasting achievement. Responsibility is not about blame or guilt. It is the conscious choice to recognize that your actions, decisions, and reactions directly shape your circumstances. When you claim ownership of your life, you move from passive reaction to deliberate action, from excuses to solutions, and from uncertainty to control. The first step is acknowledging that external factors, while influential, do not determine your outcomes unless you allow them to. Life will always present challenges, setbacks, and unexpected events, but how you respond defines your trajectory. Self-awareness is essential in embracing responsibility. Understanding your behaviors, thought patterns, and habitual responses provides clarity about areas where you can exert influence. Examine past decisions and their results objectively, identifying moments where choices led to positive outcomes and where different actions could have produced better results. This reflection empowers you to act with insight rather than instinct and creates a foundation for continuous improvement. Decision-making is a critical element of taking responsibility. Every choice, no matter how small, contributes to the structure of your life. Recognizing the power inherent in decisions allows you to approach them deliberately. Prioritize decisions that align with your values, goals, and long-term vision. Avoid deferring responsibility to chance, other people, or circumstances. Accepting that your decisions are the engine driving your life transforms both mindset and action, giving you control over direction and outcome. Accountability reinforces responsibility. Holding yourself answerable for commitments, behaviors, and results strengthens discipline and ensures follow-through. Tracking progress, setting measurable goals, and reviewing outcomes creates a feedback loop where success and failure both serve as information. Accountability eliminates excuses, reinforces integrity, and accelerates growth by ensuring that learning and adjustment occur continuously. Avoiding blame is fundamental to ownership. When setbacks occur, resist the urge to attribute failure solely to others or circumstances. Blame undermines control, erodes confidence, and prevents problem-solving. Instead, analyze the situation to determine what you can do differently, what lessons are available, and what actions move you forward. By shifting focus from external causes to internal control, you reclaim power and position yourself as an active agent in your life. Proactivity is a hallmark of personal responsibility. Rather than waiting for conditions to change or opportunities to appear, take deliberate steps to create favorable outcomes. Anticipate challenges, plan responses, and act decisively to influence circumstances. Proactive behavior reinforces the understanding that you are the primary architect of your reality, and that waiting passively allows external forces to dictate your life. Resilience is strengthened through ownership. Accepting responsibility for your life means confronting mistakes, setbacks, and discomfort directly. Facing challenges without avoidance builds mental toughness and equips you to navigate future obstacles effectively. Each act of ownership reinforces confidence in your capacity to handle adversity and reduces reliance on external validation or assistance. Habits shape the consistent application of responsibility. Small, disciplined actions repeated daily accumulate into significant outcomes. Owning your life involves creating habits that support goals, reinforce values, and cultivate personal growth. Consistency in behavior ensures that responsibility is not sporadic or reactive, but embedded into the structure of your daily life. Habits create predictability and control, translating awareness into practical influence over results. Boundaries support ownership. Defining what you will accept and what you will not preserves energy, focus, and integrity. Taking responsibility for your environment includes curating relationships, commitments, and influences that align with your priorities. Boundaries prevent distraction, overcommitment, and erosion of self-determination, ensuring that your actions remain purposeful and directed. Emotional regulation is essential in owning your life. Responsibility requires the ability to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Managing anger, frustration, or fear prevents destructive behaviors and promotes constructive action. Emotional control enables you to assess situations objectively, make informed decisions, and maintain consistent progress toward goals. Learning from mistakes is a direct outcome of ownership. Every error provides feedback when approached with accountability and reflection. Analyze what occurred, identify alternative strategies, and apply insights to future actions. By treating mistakes as lessons rather than failures, you convert setbacks into fuel for growth, reinforcing both competence and confidence. Time management reinforces ownership. Taking control of your schedule ensures that effort is invested in actions that produce meaningful results. Planning, prioritizing, and eliminating distractions are expressions of responsibility, allowing consistent alignment between intentions and outcomes. Time becomes a resource you actively manage rather than a force that governs your life passively. Goal setting is a central tool in claiming ownership. Clearly defined objectives provide direction and purpose, transforming intention into action. Break goals into actionable steps, track progress, and adjust strategies as needed. Setting and pursuing goals demonstrates commitment to controlling outcomes, reinforces discipline, and creates measurable evidence of personal influence. Self-discipline is a natural companion to responsibility. Delaying gratification, maintaining focus, and following through on commitments reinforces the understanding that outcomes are directly linked to effort. Discipline transforms intention into results and ensures that responsibility is exercised consistently rather than intermittently. Each act of self-control strengthens agency and accelerates progress. Continuous reflection enhances ownership. Regularly evaluating choices, behaviors, and results provides insight into patterns, blind spots, and areas for improvement. Reflection ensures that responsibility is informed by awareness and learning rather than assumptions or habit. Ongoing self-assessment allows adjustment, correction, and optimization of actions, reinforcing deliberate control over life's direction. Courage is required to take full responsibility. Owning your life may involve confronting uncomfortable truths, admitting errors, or making difficult decisions. Courage transforms avoidance into action, uncertainty into clarity, and hesitation into momentum. Facing life squarely and accepting the consequences of choice strengthens confidence and positions you to act decisively in all areas. Integrity strengthens ownership. Aligning actions with values and commitments ensures that responsibility is authentic and credible. Decisions made with integrity reinforce self-respect, earn trust, and support consistent, purposeful action. Acting responsibly without compromise establishes a foundation of reliability and authority in both personal and professional life. Adaptability enhances responsible action. Life is unpredictable and circumstances change constantly. Taking ownership involves responding strategically to evolving conditions, adjusting plans, and making informed choices that preserve progress toward goals. Flexibility ensures that responsibility is not rigid or reactive, but intelligent and resilient, maintaining influence regardless of external shifts. Self-belief underpins responsibility. Confidence in ability to act, solve problems, and navigate challenges reinforces the willingness to claim ownership. Belief fuels persistence, reduces hesitation, and ensures that responsibility translates into effective, impactful action. Without self-belief, ownership becomes theoretical rather than practical. Empowerment is the result of consistent ownership. Each decision made, each challenge confronted, and each result achieved reinforces the understanding that you are the primary force shaping your life. Responsibility transforms circumstances from external forces into arenas of opportunity, allowing deliberate, confident, and purposeful action. Life becomes an expression of intentional choices rather than a series of reactions. Taking full responsibility to own your life completely is not a one-time act but a continual commitment. It requires self-awareness, discipline, reflection, courage, and consistent action. By acknowledging control over decisions, embracing accountability, and actively shaping outcomes, you convert intention into reality, setbacks into lessons, and goals into measurable achievement. Responsibility transforms powerlessness into agency, confusion into clarity, and potential into tangible success, establishing a foundation for lifelong growth and fulfillment. Chapter 13. Take full responsibility to own your life completely. Taking full responsibility for your life means accepting that every outcome you experience is a result of your actions, decisions, and mindset. It requires a shift from blaming external circumstances to recognizing your own power and agency in shaping your reality. Life will always present challenges, difficulties, and unexpected events, but none of these should dictate your path unless you allow them to. Owning your life starts with understanding that excuses limit growth, while accountability fuels transformation. Accepting responsibility means being honest with yourself about where you have control and where you can make meaningful change. The foundation of responsibility is self-awareness. You must be willing to examine your habits, thoughts, and choices with brutal honesty. Understanding your strengths, weaknesses, tendencies, and patterns allows you to identify areas where improvement is necessary and opportunities where you can leverage your skills. Self-awareness helps you recognize where you may have avoided responsibility in the past and gives you the clarity needed to act differently moving forward. Without awareness, actions are reactive, inconsistent, and often ineffective. Decision-making is central to owning your life. Every choice, whether big or small, shapes your trajectory. Acknowledging that your decisions are the driving force behind your outcomes allows you to approach life deliberately. Avoid deferring responsibility to luck, circumstance, or other people. Taking ownership of your choices requires courage because it means that success and failure alike are directly tied to your actions. By deciding deliberately, you shift from being a passive participant in life to an active creator of your destiny. Accountability is a practice that reinforces responsibility. It is not enough to make decisions. You must follow through on them. Tracking your commitments, measuring progress, and reviewing outcomes ensures that you stay aligned with your goals. Accountability creates a feedback loop where successes are acknowledged and failures are examined for lessons. It keeps you disciplined, focused, and honest about your efforts. When accountability is embraced consistently, it prevents excuses and promotes continuous improvement. Avoiding blame is essential. It is easy to point fingers when situations go wrong, but doing so undermines your power and reduces your ability to take effective action. Blaming others or external circumstances creates dependency and diminishes personal growth. Instead, take a step back to analyze what you could have done differently and identify the actions that will produce better results in the future. This mindset transforms setbacks into opportunities for learning and strengthens resilience. Proactive behavior demonstrates ownership. Waiting for conditions to be perfect or for external solutions to appear gives away control. By acting intentionally, anticipating challenges, and preparing solutions in advance, you maintain influence over outcomes. Proactivity also allows you to respond to problems strategically rather than reactively, which reinforces control and confidence. Taking initiative ensures that you are shaping your life rather than letting life shape you. Resilience is developed through responsibility. Accepting ownership means facing mistakes, setbacks, and discomfort head-on. Each challenge becomes an opportunity to strengthen mental toughness and adaptability. When difficulties occur, instead of feeling defeated or avoiding responsibility, you evaluate, adjust, and act decisively. Resilience grows when you consistently confront obstacles without shifting blame or avoiding accountability, and this prepares you to handle future challenges more effectively. Daily habits reinforce responsible living. Small, consistent actions accumulate into measurable progress over time, Establishing routines that align with your goals, values, and priorities ensures that you are actively steering your life. Habits such as maintaining a schedule, following through on commitments, and reflecting on performance create a disciplined framework where responsibility is automatic. Over time, disciplined habits become the backbone of ownership and ensure consistent growth. Boundaries support responsibility by protecting focus and energy. Taking ownership of your life includes managing your environment, relationships, and commitments in a way that prioritizes progress. Saying no to distractions, declining obligations that do not serve your goals, and limiting exposure to negativity are all ways of reinforcing control over your circumstances. Boundaries prevent depletion and allow consistent effort toward meaningful objectives. Emotional regulation strengthens ownership. Life will challenge you with stress, frustration, and uncertainty, but responding impulsively undermines control. Learning to manage emotions ensures that reactions are purposeful, thoughtful, and aligned with goals. Emotional mastery allows you to remain composed under pressure, make rational decisions, and maintain forward momentum even in difficult situations. Responsibility is strengthened when the mind and emotions are aligned with deliberate action. Learning from mistakes is a direct consequence of responsibility. Every error presents valuable insight if approached with honesty and reflection. Rather than seeing failure as a sign of weakness, recognize it as information that guides improvement. Identify what went wrong, determine the steps that would produce a better outcome, and apply those lessons moving forward. This approach converts setbacks into a powerful growth mechanism, reinforcing confidence, competence, and resilience. Time management is a practical aspect of owning your life. How you allocate attention, energy, and effort determines results. Planning, prioritizing, and eliminating non-essential tasks are ways to exercise control over your day. Responsible time management ensures that your energy is applied to meaningful action rather than wasted on distractions. Consistently controlling how you spend time transforms intention into accomplishment and reinforces ownership over outcomes. Goal setting is critical for taking responsibility. Clearly defining objectives gives purpose to decisions and actions. Breaking goals into actionable steps, tracking progress, and evaluating results ensures that you maintain control over outcomes. Goals function as a roadmap for responsible living, guiding daily effort and reinforcing accountability. Without clear objectives, responsibility becomes vague and unfocused, leaving action reactive rather than intentional. Self-discipline supports ownership by converting intention into results, consistently acting according to plans, resisting immediate gratification, and maintaining focus on long-term outcomes ensures that responsibility is practiced effectively. Discipline bridges the gap between knowing what to do and actually doing it, reinforcing personal power and accountability. Each act of discipline strengthens confidence in your ability to shape your own life. Reflection enhances ownership by creating awareness of results, patterns, and areas for improvement. Regular evaluation allows you to adjust strategies, make better decisions, and optimize effort. Reflection prevents repeated mistakes, reinforces learning, and ensures that responsibility is dynamic and informed rather than static and reactive. It keeps action aligned with both values and goals. Courage is required to fully own your life. Responsibility involves confronting uncomfortable truths, making difficult decisions, and facing consequences directly. Courage allows you to act decisively despite fear, uncertainty, or potential failure. Without bravery, responsibility is half-hearted and inconsistent, leaving opportunity untapped and growth limited. Each courageous act reinforces agency, confidence, and self-mastery. Integrity strengthens responsible action by ensuring alignment between values, decisions, and behaviors. Acting in accordance with principles builds self-respect, trust, and credibility. Responsibility is most effective when actions reflect true beliefs, ensuring that ownership is authentic rather than superficial. Integrity reinforces consistent, principled decision-making that produces sustainable results. Adaptability is essential because life is unpredictable. Responsible individuals adjust strategies, modify plans, and respond intelligently to changes without losing sight of their objectives. Flexibility ensures that responsibility is applied effectively in varying circumstances and prevents stagnation or frustration when conditions shift. Ownership is resilient when it incorporates both steadfast focus and strategic adaptability. Self-belief underpins the practice of responsibility. Confidence in your ability to navigate challenges, solve problems, and make decisions reinforces the willingness to claim ownership. Belief empowers action, reduces hesitation, and ensures that responsibility translates into meaningful impact. Without belief in your capabilities, ownership remains theoretical rather than practical. Taking full responsibility transforms your life by turning challenges into opportunities, setbacks into lessons, and goals into achievable outcomes. It requires discipline, courage, reflection, integrity, and consistent action. By fully owning decisions, actions, and consequences, you shift from passive reaction to deliberate creation, building control, confidence, and sustained progress in every area of life. Responsibility is not a burden, it is the tool that transforms potential into achievement and intentions into reality. Chapter 4 Build meaningful relationships to surround yourself with strength. Building meaningful relationships is one of the most powerful ways to strengthen every area of life. The people you surround yourself with shape your habits, influence your mindset, and either lift you toward your potential or hold you back. Creating strong, authentic connections requires intention, consistency, and awareness of both your needs and the value you bring to others. Relationships are not built on convenience or superficial interaction. They are cultivated through trust, mutual respect, and shared growth. Investing in these connections strengthens your resilience, provides support during challenges, and accelerates personal development. The first step is recognizing the importance of intentional connection. Not all relationships serve your growth, and some can drain energy or distract from your goals. Identify individuals who align with your values, inspire you, and hold standards that challenge you to improve. This does not mean avoiding people with differing perspectives entirely, but focusing energy on relationships that reinforce strength, accountability, and positivity. Intentional connection creates a foundation for long-term support, guidance, and collaboration. Authenticity is critical in building meaningful relationships. Being genuine allows trust to develop naturally and ensures that connections are rooted in reality rather than pretense. Share thoughts, feelings, and intentions honestly while listening and valuing the perspectives of others. Authenticity fosters reciprocity and strengthens bonds, creating a network where respect and reliability are mutual. Pretending to be someone else may create temporary approval, but ultimately weakens connection and reduces the quality of support you receive. Consistency in presence and effort reinforces relationships. Strong bonds require regular communication, shared experiences, and demonstrated commitment. Checking in, offering help, celebrating achievements, and participating actively in the lives of those you value builds trust and signals reliability. Relationships strengthen when they are nurtured over time rather than left to chance or fleeting convenience. Regular effort ensures that connections are resilient, meaningful, and capable of withstanding challenges. Mutual support is the cornerstone of strong relationships. Contributing value, encouragement, and assistance demonstrates care and reinforces connection. Relationships are reciprocal. Providing support strengthens bonds, while cultivating a network of individuals who can offer guidance, perspective, and assistance when needed. Mutual investment builds reliability and ensures that relationships are not one-sided but balanced, sustainable, and enriching for all involved. Effective communication underpins meaningful connection. Expressing needs, intentions, and feelings clearly prevents misunderstanding and fosters alignment. Listening actively, asking thoughtful questions, and validating others' experiences ensures that communication is both assertive and empathetic. Skilled communication creates clarity, reduces conflict, and deepens trust, allowing relationships to grow in authenticity and strength. Boundaries are essential to maintaining healthy relationships. Clear limits prevent energy depletion, reduce stress, and preserve focus on personal goals. Defining what behavior is acceptable and what is not ensures that connections remain respectful and productive. Boundaries protect both parties, reinforce mutual respect, and prevent relationships from becoming draining or toxic. Healthy boundaries strengthen the quality and longevity of relationships. Shared values enhance connection. Identifying individuals whose priorities, ethics, and aspirations align with your own increases compatibility and mutual understanding. While differences can provide perspective, shared values create a foundation for trust, collaboration, and long-term support. Aligning with people who reflect the principles you embody allows relationships to reinforce strength rather than create friction or compromise standards. Conflict is inevitable but manageable when relationships are meaningful. Approaching disagreements with calmness, clarity, and a focus on resolution prevents strain from undermining connection. Constructive conflict involves expressing perspective without aggression, listening to understand, and finding solutions that preserve mutual respect. Relationships that can withstand conflict without deterioration demonstrate depth, maturity, and resilience. Accountability strengthens relationships. Surrounding yourself with individuals who hold you to high standards encourages discipline, personal growth, and reliability. Being accountable to others and inviting their constructive feedback provides insight and motivation to improve. Accountability ensures that relationships contribute to development rather than stagnation and fosters mutual trust in capability and integrity. Empathy deepens connection. Understanding and appreciating the experiences, emotions, and challenges of others fosters respect, support, and loyalty. Empathetic listening creates a sense of safety, encourages openness, and builds bonds that are both strong and enduring. Relationships grounded in empathy provide stability, reinforce trust, and enable collaborative growth. Celebrating achievements reinforces meaningful relationships. Acknowledging successes, milestones, and personal growth in others strengthens connection and encourages continued effort. Celebration creates positivity, deepens loyalty, and cultivates an environment of mutual encouragement. Recognizing accomplishments is as important as supporting through challenges, as it reinforces the value and significance of the relationship. Shared experiences enhance bonds. Spending time together in activities, projects, or pursuits of mutual interest provides context, memories, and understanding that strengthen connection. These experiences create depth beyond surface level interaction and build relational capital that supports collaboration, resilience, and mutual trust. Consistent shared experiences anchor relationships in tangible engagement rather than abstract familiarity. Adaptability strengthens long-term relationships. Life circumstances change, and the ability to adjust to evolving priorities, availability, and needs ensures that connections remain viable. Flexibility in understanding, support, and expectations maintains relational integrity and prevents drift or breakdown over time. Adaptable relationships withstand stress, transitions, and challenges, preserving strength and consistency. Encouragement fuels personal growth within relationships. Actively supporting the goals, ambitions, and efforts of others creates an environment where risk-taking, learning, and advancement are safe and valued. Encouragement reinforces connection, motivates continued effort, and establishes reciprocity, ensuring that all parties benefit from mutual support and growth. Trust is fundamental to meaningful relationships. Consistently demonstrating reliability, honesty, and integrity fosters confidence that others will act in ways that respect the relationship. Trust allows vulnerability, collaboration, and shared endeavor to flourish. Relationships without trust cannot sustain depth, influence, or mutual empowerment. Mentorship enriches connections. Learning from those with experience, insight, and expertise accelerates development while creating bonds rooted in respect, guidance, and shared purpose. Mentorship is both giving and receiving advice, providing opportunities to grow through insight, challenge, and support. Relationships that include mentorship reinforce strength, competence, and sustained personal advancement. Diversity in relationships provides perspective. Engaging with people who bring different experiences, skills, and outlooks expands thinking, enhances problem solving, and exposes blind spots. Diverse connections strengthen resilience, adaptability, and strategic insight while maintaining the core value of mutual respect and support. Exposure to varied perspectives challenges assumptions and strengthens personal and relational growth. Gratitude reinforces relational strength. Acknowledging the contributions, support, and presence of others deepens connection, fosters loyalty, and strengthens bonds. Expressing appreciation creates reciprocity, reinforces commitment, and ensures that relationships remain valued and intentional. Gratitude transforms routine interaction into meaningful engagement that cultivates trust, loyalty, and relational energy. Building meaningful relationships is a deliberate, continuous process that requires attention, effort, and care. Surrounding yourself with strong, supportive, and inspiring individuals amplifies personal growth, resilience, and success. Relationships are cultivated through authenticity, trust, consistent effort, empathy, accountability, and shared experience. The quality of your connections directly influences the quality of your life, and intentionally fostering meaningful relationships strengthens both your ability to achieve and your capacity to navigate challenges effectively. Chapter 15. Prioritize health to fuel energy for relentless action. Prioritizing health is the cornerstone of sustaining energy, focus, and consistent action toward your goals. Your body and mind are the tools through which all achievement flows, and neglecting them undermines every effort, no matter how disciplined or motivated. True productivity and relentless action require a foundation of physical strength, mental clarity, and emotional stability. Health is not optional. It is an active commitment that demands attention, routine, and respect for the needs of your body and mind. By taking control of nutrition, movement, rest, and recovery, you equip yourself with the energy necessary to pursue goals aggressively and consistently without burning out. Nutrition is fundamental to sustaining high energy and performance. Consuming foods that provide steady fuel, essential vitamins, and balanced macronutrients ensures that your body functions optimally. Skipping meals, relying on sugar or processed foods, or neglecting hydration creates fluctuations in energy, reduces focus, and impairs decision-making. Choosing whole, nutrient-dense foods, drinking sufficient water, and timing meals strategically allows your mind and body to operate at peak efficiency. Every meal is an opportunity to reinforce strength, endurance, and mental sharpness. Movement and exercise are critical to maintaining vitality and resilience. Regular physical activity improves circulation, strengthens muscles, supports joint health, and enhances mental clarity. Exercise stimulates endorphins that improve mood, reduce stress, and sharpen focus. It also trains discipline, perseverance, and consistency, reinforcing habits that translate to all areas of life. Engaging in consistent, purposeful movement ensures that your body can handle long periods of concentrated effort without fatigue or diminished capacity. Rest and recovery are equally important as activity. Chronic fatigue, poor sleep, and insufficient downtime erode focus, impair memory, and reduce productivity. Establishing routines for sleep, relaxation, and mental decompression allows the body to repair, the mind to reset, and energy levels to remain high. Recovery is not laziness, it is a deliberate act that maintains performance, prevents burnout, and reinforces sustainability in relentless action. Prioritizing rest ensures that effort produces results consistently over the long term rather than being sporadic or short-lived. Stress management is integral to maintaining health. Chronic stress depletes energy, reduces immune function, and impairs cognitive performance. Identifying sources of stress, practicing regulation techniques such as deep breathing, meditation, or controlled focus, and managing responsibilities effectively preserves mental and physical capacity. Healthy stress management allows clarity under pressure, resilience during challenges, and sustained momentum toward goals. Emotional balance ensures that energy is directed toward meaningful action rather than being consumed by reactive or unproductive patterns. Consistency in daily routines reinforces health as a foundation for achievement. Establishing habits around nutrition, movement, rest, and mental care creates predictable energy levels and stable performance. Consistent routines reduce decision fatigue, reinforce discipline, and allow focus to remain on high-priority actions. Health becomes a reliable platform that supports aggressive pursuit of goals rather than an unpredictable variable that hinders effort. Monitoring and adjusting your health strategy is necessary for continual optimization. Regularly evaluating energy levels, recovery, performance, and overall well-being provides insight into what strategies are effective and where adjustments are needed. Being aware of subtle signs of fatigue, imbalance, or nutrient deficiency allows for proactive correction. Health is dynamic, and consistent attention ensures that you maintain an advantage in both mental clarity and physical capacity. Mindset supports the commitment to health. Viewing care for your body and mind as a non-negotiable investment rather than a choice increases consistency and motivation. Discipline in nutrition, exercise, and recovery is easier when health is framed as essential for achieving goals rather than optional or secondary. A mindset rooted in long-term performance and relentless action reinforces behaviors that sustain strength, endurance, and focus. Avoiding harmful substances is critical to maintaining energy and resilience. Excessive alcohol, nicotine, recreational drugs, and processed stimulants impair cognitive function, drain energy, and disrupt recovery. Choosing to minimize or eliminate these substances supports consistent performance, strengthens focus, and ensures that effort produces measurable results. Clean habits reinforce clarity, endurance, and long-term capacity to act decisively. Mental fitness complements physical health. Mental clarity, focus, and resilience are reinforced through practices such as meditation, deliberate reflection, learning, and cognitive training. Strengthening the mind ensures that energy is directed productively and that stress, distraction, or negative thinking does not undermine effort. Mental fitness allows for sharper decision-making, increased problem-solving ability, and consistent performance under pressure. Hydration is an often overlooked element of health that directly influences energy, focus, and physical performance. Dehydration reduces cognitive sharpness, slows reaction times, and increases fatigue. Drinking water consistently and ensuring electrolyte balance is essential for maintaining high-level function throughout the day. Proper hydration is a small but impactful habit that strengthens both body and mind for relentless action. Purposeful recovery strategies enhance resilience. Practices such as stretching, mobility exercises, active rest, and mental decompression allow the body and mind to recover while preparing for continued effort. Recovery is strategic rather than passive, ensuring that energy is renewed, muscles and joints are maintained, and mental clarity remains high. Without structured recovery, energy is depleted and the capacity for sustained achievement diminishes. Routine medical checkups and preventive care ensure long-term sustainability. Monitoring vital signs, addressing minor issues early, and seeking professional guidance maintains health and prevents small problems from becoming obstacles. Awareness and proactive management of physical well-being enable continuous action without unexpected interruptions caused by preventable illness or injury. Building habits that reinforce health requires intention. Planning meals, scheduling workouts, setting sleep priorities, and allocating time for stress management ensures that health is integrated into daily life. Deliberate habit formation reduces reliance on motivation alone and creates automatic structures that support high energy and sustained effort. Consistent habits produce measurable improvement in strength, endurance, and mental clarity over time. Energy management amplifies productivity. Recognizing natural peaks and troughs of energy allows tasks to be scheduled strategically. High focus or high intensity work is performed when energy is optimal, while lower demand tasks are scheduled during natural dips. Managing energy through health routine and awareness maximizes efficiency and ensures that effort produces meaningful results consistently. Accountability in health accelerates results. Sharing goals, progress, and routines with mentors, peers, or support systems reinforces commitment. External accountability strengthens internal discipline and ensures that adherence to nutrition, exercise, rest, and mental care remains consistent. Accountability transforms intention into tangible action and helps maintain focus on health as a non-negotiable priority. Long-term perspective is essential. Viewing health as the foundation of all performance ensures that daily choices support cumulative energy, resilience, and capability. Sacrificing short-term convenience for long-term vitality allows for consistent pursuit of goals without compromise. Prioritizing health builds the capacity to act relentlessly over months, years, and decades, creating sustained achievement rather than intermittent bursts of effort. Prioritizing health is an investment in every other area of life. Physical strength, mental clarity, emotional stability, and resilience are all reinforced through deliberate attention to nutrition, movement, rest, and recovery. By treating health as essential rather than optional, you create a platform for continuous growth, unrelenting action, and consistent performance. Energy becomes reliable, focus sharpens, and the ability to execute with precision and determination becomes second nature. Health is the foundation that allows relentless pursuit of goals with confidence, clarity, and stamina. Chapter 16. Act decisively to overcome hesitation and self-doubt. Acting decisively is the key to overcoming hesitation and self-doubt, because every moment of indecision allows fear and uncertainty to gain strength. Self-doubt thrives in hesitation and inaction, feeding on imagined consequences and worst-case scenarios. To break free from this cycle, you must train yourself to recognize doubt as information, not a barrier, and respond with clear, immediate action. Action creates momentum, builds confidence, and reduces the power that hesitation holds over your mind. The more decisively you act, the more your self-trust strengthens, creating a cycle where courage feeds confidence and confidence reinforces courage. The first step in decisive action is awareness. Understand where hesitation and doubt appear in your life and identify the triggers that cause you to pause or second-guess. These triggers can range from fear of failure, fear of judgment, lack of information, or uncertainty about outcomes. Recognizing these triggers allows you to anticipate hesitation and prepare strategies to counter it. Awareness turns instinctive pause into conscious opportunity, allowing you to act with purpose instead of reaction. Commitment is essential to decisive behavior. Once a choice is made, commit fully to the action without leaving room for lingering doubts or second-guessing. Hesitation often emerges when decisions are half-made or conditional, giving your mind space to entertain fears. Firm commitment transforms uncertainty into clarity, providing a mental anchor that allows confidence to grow even in the face of challenges. Commitment turns thought into action and ensures that self-doubt does not dominate the process. Breaking action into manageable steps reduces overwhelm and strengthens decisiveness. Often, hesitation stems from viewing a task as too large or complex. By dividing goals into clear, actionable steps, the mind can focus on immediate effort rather than being paralyzed by the unknown. Each small action reinforces momentum and reduces anxiety, making it easier to act decisively even when stakes feel high. Progress builds confidence, and confidence reduces hesitation. Preparation enhances decisiveness without feeding fear. Taking the time to gather necessary information, clarify objectives, and consider potential obstacles allows you to act from a place of knowledge rather than blind impulse. Preparation is not procrastination. It is strategic planning that empowers rapid and confident decision-making. When you know your resources, constraints, and options, hesitation diminishes because action is grounded in informed choice. Trust in yourself is critical to decisive action. Hesitation often arises from a lack of confidence in your ability to handle outcomes. Reinforcing belief in your skills, judgment, and resilience allows you to move forward despite uncertainty. Every decision, regardless of outcome, becomes a training ground to strengthen self-trust. Experience accumulates as evidence of capability, gradually replacing self-doubt with confidence grounded in demonstrated ability. Accepting the inevitability of mistakes fosters decisiveness. Fear of failure is a common reason for hesitation, but mistakes are inevitable in any meaningful pursuit. Viewing errors as information rather than catastrophe reduces fear and encourages action. Decisive individuals embrace the possibility of failure while maintaining focus on growth, learning, and corrective action. Understanding that mistakes do not define you but guide you allows self-doubt to lose its grip. Limiting overthinking is crucial. The mind tends to generate endless scenarios, doubts, and concerns when left unchecked. Decisive action requires recognizing when thinking has become counterproductive and moving forward with available information. Over-analysis delays outcomes and feeds hesitation. Acting with what you know now, while adjusting in real time, prevents paralysis and reinforces confidence through tangible progress. Time-bound action strengthens decisiveness. Setting deadlines or time limits for decisions forces clarity and reduces the window for hesitation. When action is tied to accountability, the mind is compelled to act rather than linger in indecision. Time constraints encourage prioritization, rapid evaluation, and focused execution, all of which strengthen the ability to act decisively consistently. Body and mind alignment reinforces decisive action. Physical cues, posture, and energy influence confidence and clarity. Standing tall, maintaining steady breathing, and cultivating alertness primes the mind to act rather than freeze. The body sends signals to the brain that shape perception and readiness, meaning that physical preparation enhances mental decisiveness. Energy, posture, and focus work together to reduce hesitation and reinforce action-oriented behavior. Visualization strengthens decisive capability. Mentally rehearsing decisions, potential obstacles, and desired outcomes primes your mind to respond effectively in real scenarios. Visualization reduces uncertainty, clarifies process, and builds confidence by familiarizing the brain with challenges and actions ahead of time. When mentally prepared, hesitation diminishes because the mind has already mapped potential responses and solutions. Accountability encourages decisive behavior. Sharing intentions or commitments with trusted individuals creates external pressure to act. Knowing that others are aware of your decisions reduces the opportunity to procrastinate or hesitate. Accountability reinforces responsibility and provides feedback, enhancing learning and refining future action. Social reinforcement strengthens the habit of decisiveness and reduces self-doubt through shared observation and support. Reflection improves future decisiveness. After each decision, evaluate the process, outcome, and response. Identify where hesitation appeared, what caused doubt, and how action could be improved. Reflection without judgment provides insight, strengthens judgment, and equips you to act more confidently next time. Continuous evaluation transforms each decision into a tool for building resilience, confidence, and decisive skill. Courage is developed through repeated action. Each decisive step, regardless of difficulty, reinforces bravery and reduces the perceived risk of future decisions. Courage is not absence of fear, but the capacity to act despite it. By acting decisively in small and large matters alike, you condition yourself to confront uncertainty, challenge discomfort, and maintain momentum even under pressure. Habitual courage strengthens the mind and diminishes hesitation. Prioritization enables faster action. Knowing what matters most allows you to focus attention and energy on decisions that have the greatest impact. Decisiveness improves when less essential choices are deprioritized or delegated, leaving clarity and confidence for actions that truly drive results. Prioritization simplifies options and reduces analysis paralysis, making it easier to move forward with certainty. Adaptability complements decisiveness. Acting decisively does not mean rigidly sticking to a course without evaluation. Effective decision-making balances swift action with the ability to adjust based on new information. Recognizing when to pivot, refine, or correct allows decisive action to remain effective and resilient. Flexibility prevents fear of committing to a path from turning into stagnation. Confidence grows exponentially with repeated action. Each successful decision reinforces self-belief and diminishes hesitation in future choices. Confidence is reinforced through experience, proving that acting decisively consistently produces results. Momentum compounds over time, turning initial uncertainty into consistent, empowered action. The more you act decisively, the less doubt can influence you. Discipline underpins decisiveness. Consistent routines, focus, and self-control reduce reliance on fluctuating motivation and emotional states. Discipline ensures that action occurs even when fear or doubt arises. Repeated disciplined action reinforces the habit of decisiveness, making hesitation an anomaly rather than the default response. Decisive action transforms self-doubt into evidence of capability. Every choice, every step forward becomes proof of your ability to manage outcomes, adapt to challenges, and succeed despite uncertainty. Self-doubt diminishes not because it disappears, but because it is outweighed by repeated success and accumulated experience. Momentum replaces hesitation, and confidence replaces fear. Acting decisively requires courage, preparation, self-trust, prioritization, and disciplined action. It transforms hesitation into forward motion, fear into opportunity, and uncertainty into clarity. By consistently choosing action over doubt, you build momentum, strengthen resilience, and reinforce the belief that you are capable of handling anything that comes your way. Decisive action is the bridge between intention and achievement, and it is the most effective tool to overcome self-doubt and hesitation permanently. Chapter 7:7 Learn continuously to sharpen your skills and knowledge. Learning continuously is the single most reliable way to sharpen skills, expand knowledge, and maintain an edge in every area of life. Stagnation occurs when the mind stops absorbing, questioning, and adapting, and growth happens when effort is paired with curiosity and discipline. Continuous learning is not simply reading or consuming information. It is the deliberate practice of acquiring skills, testing knowledge, reflecting on outcomes, and applying insights consistently. Every action you take to expand your mind compounds over time, giving you abilities, understanding, and perspective that distinguish you from the average person. Lifelong learning ensures that your skill set remains relevant, your thinking flexible, and your decision-making informed. The first step is cultivating a mindset that values knowledge above comfort. Many avoid learning because it feels inconvenient or exposes gaps in understanding. Accepting discomfort as a necessary part of growth allows you to approach learning proactively rather than passively. Viewing every challenge as an opportunity to learn transforms frustration into curiosity and ensures that no experience is wasted. Mental openness is the foundation of continuous skill development. Identify areas where growth matters most. Not all knowledge contributes equally to your goals, so prioritize learning that enhances your abilities, improves decision-making, or strengthens your influence. This could involve technical skills, communication, strategic thinking, emotional intelligence, or industry-specific knowledge. Focused learning maximizes impact and ensures that effort produces tangible improvement rather than scattered, superficial understanding. Active learning is more effective than passive consumption. Simply reading or listening is insufficient without practice, reflection, and application. Implementing what you learn reinforces understanding, builds competence, and transforms information into usable skill. Real-world application strengthens neural pathways, improves retention, and ensures that knowledge translates into meaningful action. Continuous learners test theories, experiment with new approaches, and evaluate results. Set measurable goals for skill acquisition. Breaking down learning objectives into actionable steps provides clarity and accountability. Goals might include mastering a software tool, improving public speaking, completing a set number of books, or acquiring proficiency in a particular technique. Specific objectives reduce ambiguity, create motivation, and allow consistent progress to be tracked over time. Measurement turns intention into tangible growth. Seek diverse sources of knowledge. Relying on a single perspective limits understanding and creativity. Books, mentors, courses, discussions, research, and observation all offer different insights and approaches. Exposure to multiple viewpoints expands problem-solving capacity, deepens critical thinking, and encourages innovative solutions. The broader your learning sources, the more versatile and adaptable your skills become. Reflection accelerates mastery. Simply accumulating information is not enough. Analyzing experiences, reviewing outcomes, and questioning assumptions converts knowledge into wisdom. Reflecting on mistakes, successes, and methods allows you to refine strategies and internalize lessons. Reflection bridges the gap between knowledge acquisition and practical application, ensuring that learning translates into meaningful performance improvement. Consistency is essential for continuous learning. Sporadic effort produces minimal progress, while daily commitment compounds into significant expertise. Even short, focused learning sessions each day create long-term advantage. Consistent practice not only reinforces skills but also strengthens discipline, mental stamina, and the ability to concentrate on complex tasks over extended periods. Habitual learning embeds growth into your identity. Mentorship accelerates skill development. Learning from those with experience provides insight, reduces trial and error, and exposes patterns not easily observed independently. Mentors provide guidance, challenge assumptions, and demonstrate high-level thinking in practice. Observing and interacting with skilled individuals allows accelerated understanding, access to strategies, and practical lessons that are otherwise difficult to acquire alone. Experimentation fosters deeper knowledge. Applying ideas, testing methods, and exploring new approaches provides first-hand experience that deepens comprehension. Failure during experimentation is informative rather than discouraging, as each setback reveals limitations, prompts adjustment, and refines skill. Experimentation is the bridge between theory and competence, ensuring that learning produces actionable capability. Adaptability reinforces continuous learning. Knowledge becomes obsolete if you cannot apply it flexibly in changing contexts. Developing skills to adjust, pivot, and integrate new information ensures relevance and sustained effectiveness. Adaptable learners remain competitive, resourceful, and prepared for unexpected challenges, while rigid thinking limits application and inhibits growth. Time management supports effective learning. Allocating dedicated time for skill development and study prevents distraction, ensures consistency, and demonstrates commitment. Structured learning blocks create rhythm and allow for immersion, which accelerates comprehension and retention. Treating learning as a priority rather than a secondary activity guarantees that progress is deliberate and measurable. Teaching others strengthens knowledge retention. Explaining concepts, demonstrating skills, or mentoring peers reinforces understanding and exposes gaps in knowledge. Teaching transforms passive learning into active engagement, solidifying competence and enhancing communication ability simultaneously. Sharing knowledge benefits both the learner and those receiving guidance. Curiosity fuels continuous learning. Asking questions, seeking understanding, and challenging assumptions creates a mindset where knowledge becomes a pursuit rather than a task. Curiosity drives motivation, encourages exploration, and maintains engagement, even when material is difficult or unfamiliar. Lifelong learners cultivate curiosity to maintain growth regardless of circumstance. Critical thinking ensures that learning is meaningful. Not all information is accurate or relevant, and the ability to evaluate, synthesize, and apply knowledge effectively distinguishes competent learners from passive consumers. Critical thinking involves questioning sources, verifying facts, analyzing patterns, and integrating new insights intelligently. Learning with discernment produces actionable intelligence rather than superficial awareness. Accountability enhances skill acquisition. Sharing goals, progress, and outcomes with peers, mentors, or teams reinforces commitment and provides external motivation. Feedback from accountable sources ensures that progress is honest, actionable, and aligned with objectives. Accountability transforms effort into measurable growth and prevents complacency or stagnation in learning. Persistence is essential in mastering skills. Learning often involves frustration, repeated failure, and slow progress. Persevering through challenges ensures that skills are internalized and refined over time. Persistence builds resilience, reinforces discipline, and strengthens confidence in the ability to tackle increasingly complex challenges. Every step forward, however small, compounds into meaningful capability. Integration of knowledge into daily routines enhances retention and application. Skills are strengthened when actively used in real situations, applied to challenges, or incorporated into habits. Integration bridges the gap between theory and practice, ensuring that learning translates into tangible improvement. Knowledge without application remains inert, while integrated skills actively contribute to performance and results. Continuous learning improves adaptability to change. In a rapidly evolving world, skills, knowledge, and understanding must be refreshed to remain effective. Staying current prevents obsolescence and creates the ability to respond decisively to new opportunities or challenges. Lifelong learners remain agile, informed, and capable of leveraging change rather than being disrupted by it. Self-reflection, experimentation, mentorship, consistency, and curiosity together create a framework for lifelong learning that produces measurable growth, sharpened skills, and enhanced knowledge. By prioritizing the process, committing to disciplined effort, and integrating learning into practical application, you ensure that personal and professional capabilities continue to expand. Continuous learning transforms potential into achievement, uncertainty into mastery, and ambition into tangible success. Chapter 18. Manage time strategically to maximize productivity and impact. Time is the one resource that cannot be regained, extended, or replaced, and how it is managed determines the scale of what you can accomplish in life. Every decision about how to spend your hours, minutes, and even seconds directly influences your productivity, focus, and overall impact. Strategic time management is not about filling your schedule or being busy. It is about prioritizing actions that yield the highest return, creating space for clarity, and ensuring that your energy is directed toward what truly matters. Without structure and intentionality, time slips away through distraction, indecision, and unplanned demands. Learning to control your schedule, protect your focus, and align tasks with your goals is essential for maximizing achievement. The first step is clarity on what matters most. Identifying high-impact activities allows time to be spent on actions that directly contribute to growth, success, and influence. This requires distinguishing between urgent and important tasks, recognizing what generates results, and eliminating activities that are unproductive or draining. Time spent on low-value actions reduces energy for critical work, so understanding priorities is essential to strategic management. Every hour devoted to meaningful tasks compounds into measurable results over weeks and months. Planning is foundational to strategic time management. Without a clear plan, even high-priority tasks can be delayed, interrupted, or forgotten. Daily, weekly, and long-term plans establish structure, set expectations, and provide a framework for action. Scheduling tasks with specific objectives and timelines ensures that energy is directed intentionally, prevents wasted effort, and creates a predictable rhythm that supports consistency and accountability. Planning transforms abstract goals into actionable steps that fit into the reality of daily life. Breaking work into focused blocks enhances productivity. Dividing time into dedicated periods for specific tasks minimizes distraction and prevents multitasking, which reduces efficiency and quality. Concentrated effort produces higher output in less time than scattered attention. During these focused periods, external interruptions should be minimized, notifications silenced, and attention directed entirely toward the task at hand. Structured focus maximizes the effectiveness of every minute invested. Prioritization allows you to act decisively on what matters while deferring or delegating less important responsibilities. Not all tasks carry equal weight, and investing time indiscriminately dilutes impact. Using methods such as ranking tasks by importance, estimating effort versus value, or applying frameworks like the Eisenhower matrix ensures that critical work receives attention first. Prioritization prevents overwhelm, clarifies decision-making, and strengthens progress toward meaningful objectives. Deadlines create accountability and prevent procrastination. Setting specific time limits for tasks encourages action, reduces indecision, and accelerates momentum. Self-imposed or external deadlines provide structure and urgency, ensuring that time is actively used rather than lost in hesitation or distraction. Deadlines transform intention into execution, making abstract goals measurable and actionable. Eliminating distractions is critical for effective time use. Social media, unnecessary meetings, casual browsing, and unstructured interruptions fragment attention and drain energy. Creating an environment that supports concentration, setting clear boundaries, and allocating focused periods for deep work preserves mental clarity and allows higher quality output. Reducing distractions is not about restriction but about freeing energy to engage fully with priorities. Delegation and outsourcing optimize time allocation. Not every task requires personal attention, and attempting to handle all responsibilities reduces productivity and focus. Delegating tasks to capable individuals or leveraging resources for efficiency allows time to be invested in areas where your unique skills and judgment produce the greatest impact. Strategic delegation amplifies results and prevents energy from being squandered on low-value activities. Regular reflection and evaluation improve time management. Reviewing completed tasks, analyzing productivity patterns, and identifying areas for improvement ensures that strategies remain effective. Reflection allows adjustment of priorities, reallocation of effort, and identification of time-wasting habits. Continuous evaluation prevents stagnation and reinforces consistent improvement in how time is utilized. Energy management complements strategic scheduling. Understanding personal energy cycles, peak focus periods, and fatigue patterns allows critical work to be performed when cognitive and physical resources are highest. Tasks that require creativity, analysis, or decision-making should coincide with periods of peak energy, while routine or lower priority activities can be scheduled during natural low points. Aligning effort with energy maximizes efficiency and effectiveness. Batching similar tasks increases efficiency by reducing the cognitive load of frequent context switching. Grouping activities such as emails, calls, or repetitive work into dedicated blocks allows flow to build, reduces mental fatigue, and frees time for more significant projects. Task batching ensures that effort is concentrated and sustained, rather than fragmented across unrelated responsibilities. Saying no strategically protects time and focus. Time spent on requests, meetings, or obligations that do not align with priorities reduces availability for high-value work. Clear boundaries, assertive communication, and selective engagement ensure that attention is reserved for actions that advance your goals. Strategic refusal is an essential tool for maintaining control over how energy and time are spent. Automation and tools enhance productivity by removing repetitive burdens. Utilizing technology, systems, and processes for routine tasks allows attention to be focused on creative, high-impact work. Automating scheduling, tracking, or data management eliminates inefficiency, increases accuracy, and frees mental capacity for strategic thinking and action. Tools, when applied intentionally, extend the effectiveness of time invested. Focus on results rather than business. Being occupied does not guarantee progress. Measuring outcomes, tracking progress toward objectives, and evaluating impact ensures that effort translates into meaningful achievement. Prioritizing tasks that produce measurable results prevents time from being consumed by activity that feels productive but lacks significance. Strategic time management is about aligning effort with tangible impact. Flexibility supports effective time management in dynamic situations. Unanticipated challenges, opportunities, and changes can disrupt even the most carefully planned schedule. Developing the ability to adapt, reschedule, and reprioritize ensures that momentum continues despite shifts in circumstances. Flexibility combined with strategic planning maintains productivity without rigid adherence that ignores reality. Continuous improvement in time management builds mastery. Experimenting with scheduling methods, productivity techniques, and prioritization strategies allows you to identify what works best for your unique circumstances. Incremental adjustments over time compound into highly effective routines, increased output, and optimized focus. Commitment to learning and refining your approach ensures ongoing growth in productivity and impact. Intentional breaks preserve performance. Short, structured periods of rest and recovery prevent mental fatigue, restore focus, and maintain energy for sustained effort. Time management is not about constant action, but about balancing effort with recuperation to maximize output. Breaks enhance clarity, decision-making, and resilience, making every working period more productive. Visualization and planning of outcomes enhance decision-making and task execution. Anticipating challenges, mapping sequences of action, and identifying dependencies allows time to be spent efficiently. Clear visualization reduces wasted effort, increases precision, and strengthens confidence in execution. Strategic foresight ensures that time is invested in actions with predictable and favorable results. Accountability reinforces time discipline. Sharing plans, goals, and progress with mentors, peers, or teams ensures adherence to schedules and priorities. External oversight motivates commitment and creates external pressure to maintain focus. Accountability aligns effort with intention, increasing the likelihood that strategic time management produces measurable results. Long-term perspective ensures that time is used to maximize cumulative impact rather than immediate gratification. Actions today should contribute to growth, influence, and achievement over weeks, months, and years. Short-term distractions may offer comfort but reduce overall effectiveness. Strategic time management aligns daily actions with meaningful long-term outcomes, creating compounding advantage and sustained success. Effective time management combines clarity, prioritization, focus, energy alignment, delegation, accountability, and reflection to maximize both productivity and impact. By consciously directing effort toward high-value activities, minimizing distractions, and structuring tasks strategically, every moment becomes an opportunity to advance objectives and strengthen influence. Mastery of time ensures that goals are achieved consistently, energy is preserved, and action produces the highest possible return. Time is controlled, energy is focused, and impact is amplified, forming the foundation for relentless achievement and measurable success. Chapter 19 Celebrate progress to reinforce confidence and sustain motivation. Celebrating progress is a critical step in maintaining motivation and reinforcing the confidence necessary to continue pursuing your goals consistently. Achievements, no matter how small, provide tangible evidence that your effort produces results, and recognition of these accomplishments strengthens your belief in your ability to grow, adapt, and succeed. Too often, people focus solely on the end goal, overlooking the incremental steps that build skill, resilience, and mastery. By consciously acknowledging progress, you create a positive feedback loop that fuels determination, encourages consistency, and transforms effort into sustained action. The process of celebrating progress is not about vanity or indulgence. It is a deliberate tool to maintain momentum, reinforce self-trust, and align your mindset with achievement rather than frustration or doubt. The first principle is to track progress accurately. Without measurement, progress can go unnoticed and effort may feel wasted. Maintaining records of completed tasks, milestones reached, or improvements made provides clarity and perspective. Journals, checklists, or digital trackers can help visualize advancement and provide concrete evidence of growth. Observing patterns of achievement enables reflection and reinforces the understanding that consistent action leads to tangible results. Small wins are powerful motivators. While large goals provide direction, small achievements create momentum. Each completed task, mastered skill, or problem solved is a step forward that validates effort. Recognizing these incremental victories ensures that motivation remains high, preventing discouragement from the distance yet to be covered. Small wins accumulate into significant outcomes, and celebrating them maintains energy, focus, and enthusiasm. Acknowledging effort, not just outcome, reinforces resilience. Progress is often nonlinear, and challenges or setbacks may obscure visible results. Celebrating effort emphasizes the discipline, persistence, and strategic action that contribute to long-term success, even if immediate outcomes are limited. Valuing consistent effort over perfection encourages perseverance, reduces self-criticism, and nurtures a mindset oriented toward growth rather than fear of failure. Reflection strengthens the impact of celebration. Taking time to consider what was learned, how challenges were overcome, and what skills were developed enhances the psychological effect of recognition. Reflection connects achievements to personal growth, deepening understanding and reinforcing confidence. Each celebration becomes a moment to internalize lessons, appreciate progress, and prepare for subsequent challenges with renewed clarity. Celebrate intentionally to maximize benefit. Spontaneous recognition of accomplishment is valuable, but deliberate celebration amplifies motivation. Setting aside time to recognize milestones, reward yourself for persistence, or share achievements with supportive individuals provides structure to the process. Intentional celebration signals to your brain that progress is meaningful and worth reinforcing, creating a neurological association between effort, action, and positive reinforcement. Gratitude enhances the effect of celebrating progress. Appreciating what you have accomplished and the resources, knowledge, or support that enabled it fosters a positive mindset. Gratitude reduces the focus on what is lacking or unfinished, allowing you to absorb the satisfaction of progress fully. By integrating gratitude with recognition, each celebration strengthens confidence, encourages resilience, and nurtures long-term motivation. Public acknowledgement can reinforce achievement further. Sharing progress with mentors, peers, or communities provides validation, encouragement, and accountability. Social reinforcement strengthens commitment to continued effort, inspires others, and creates an environment where progress is recognized and valued. Communicating accomplishments strategically amplifies motivation while maintaining humility and focus on ongoing improvement. Celebrate the process as much as the results. True mastery and confidence develop through consistent effort, learning, and adaptation, not only through reaching endpoints. Recognizing dedication, problem-solving, and persistence reinforces the habits that produce results over time. By valuing the journey, you internalize the behaviors and mindset necessary to sustain achievement and maintain momentum across challenges. Rewards should be meaningful yet proportional. While large celebrations for small steps can feel disproportionate, modest acknowledgement or personal reinforcement for incremental progress maintains balance and keeps attention on continued growth. Rewards can take the form of reflection, journaling achievements, short breaks, or small tangible treats that reinforce effort. Thoughtful acknowledgement strengthens psychological commitment without creating dependency on external validation. Visualization reinforces celebration. Mentally revisiting successes, accomplishments, or milestones allows the brain to absorb progress more fully. Visualization strengthens the sense of achievement, enhances confidence, and primes motivation for future action. Mentally celebrating completed efforts consolidates growth, making each step forward more impactful in building resilience and self-assurance. Celebrating progress combats burnout. Continuous effort without acknowledgement can erode energy, reduce focus, and diminish enthusiasm. Recognizing accomplishments restores perspective, provides emotional recharge, and allows for renewed commitment. Pausing to honor achievement creates space for reflection and recuperation, maintaining sustainable momentum over long-term projects. Integrating celebration into daily routines creates habitual reinforcement. Taking moments to acknowledge progress at the end of each day, week, or month solidifies confidence and keeps motivation consistent. Routine reflection and acknowledgement transform achievement from isolated events into continuous reinforcement of skill, persistence, and capability. Balance celebration with focus on next steps. Recognition should energize rather than distract. Use acknowledgement of progress to assess lessons learned, identify remaining challenges, and plan forward action. Celebration becomes a tool to motivate, clarify direction, and prepare for further growth rather than a reason to pause indefinitely. Celebrate improvements in mindset and skill as well as results. Confidence grows not only from external accomplishments but from demonstrated growth in thinking, adaptability, problem solving, and resilience. Recognizing mental or behavioral progress reinforces self-efficacy, strengthens decision-making, and enhances the ability to tackle future challenges decisively. Progress in these areas compounds over time, creating deep and durable confidence. Acknowledging setbacks as progress supports resilience. Even failures provide data insight and opportunity for adjustment. Recognizing learning from mistakes as a form of advancement reinforces self-trust, reduces fear of error, and encourages continuous action. Celebrating adaptive responses to challenges strengthens confidence, persistence, and emotional resilience. Tracking cumulative progress reveals long-term achievement. Looking back over months or years shows how consistent effort produces measurable growth. This perspective reinforces the power of daily action, validates commitment, and demonstrates that persistence yields substantial results. Observing accumulated progress builds pride, confidence, and motivation to continue striving for higher goals. Peer recognition amplifies reinforcement. Sharing successes and receiving encouragement from those who understand effort and commitment enhances satisfaction. External acknowledgement complements internal reflection, providing social reinforcement that strengthens confidence, validates strategies, and encourages ongoing pursuit of ambitious objectives. Celebrate strategically to maintain momentum without complacency. Recognition should energize, not allow relaxation of effort. Each acknowledgement should reinforce the behaviors, discipline, and focus that produced the outcome, keeping attention on the path forward. Strategic celebration aligns satisfaction with continued action rather than halting progress. Cultivate a mindset where every achievement is both acknowledged and used as fuel for growth. Each success, no matter how minor, is proof of capability and a reminder of what consistent effort produces. Recognition of progress strengthens self-confidence, reinforces habits, sustains motivation, and provides psychological momentum to approach the next challenge with clarity and determination. Chapter 20. Lead authentically to inspire respect and influence naturally. Authentic leadership begins with a deep understanding of who you are, what you value, and how your actions align with those principles. Leading authentically is not about authority, control, or appearance. It is about integrity, clarity, and the consistent demonstration of character in every decision, interaction, and effort. People naturally respond to leaders who act transparently, make deliberate choices grounded in principle, and maintain consistency even when circumstances are challenging. Influence emerges from trust, competence, and the ability to inspire others through example rather than coercion. Building authentic leadership requires self-awareness, disciplined action, emotional intelligence, and a commitment to continuous growth, as these qualities cultivate respect, credibility, and genuine influence over time. The foundation of authentic leadership is self-knowledge. Understanding your strengths, weaknesses, values, and priorities enables decisions that are deliberate rather than reactive. Leaders who are self-aware avoid the trap of performing for approval or adopting behaviors that conflict with their principles. Reflecting on experiences, seeking feedback, and honestly assessing capabilities develop insight into personal tendencies, motivations, and areas for growth. Self-knowledge empowers clear communication, principled decision-making, and the ability to act with confidence even in complex situations. Consistency reinforces trust. Authentic leaders demonstrate reliability by acting according to values and commitments across situations and relationships. Consistent behavior creates predictability, credibility, and confidence in leadership. When words, actions, and principles align, followers feel secure and inspired, recognizing that promises and expectations are grounded in integrity. Consistency builds influence organically because people observe reliability and model trust. Decision-making rooted in principle defines authentic leadership. Choices should reflect long-term values rather than short-term convenience or external approval. Leaders who act with ethical clarity navigate complex challenges with integrity, fostering respect and demonstrating the ability to manage adversity effectively. Clear, principle-based decision-making signals competence and moral clarity, strengthening influence while reinforcing internal confidence. Transparency cultivates connection and credibility. Sharing thought processes, acknowledging limitations, and communicating intentions openly fosters trust and mutual respect. Authentic leaders do not manipulate or obscure information to control perception. They demonstrate confidence through honesty and clarity. Transparent communication encourages engagement, minimizes misunderstanding, and allows others to align with vision and strategy naturally. Emotional intelligence strengthens leadership impact. Understanding personal emotions, managing reactions, and recognizing the feelings of others allows leaders to navigate interpersonal dynamics effectively. Empathy, active listening, and measured responses foster collaboration, resolve conflict, and inspire commitment. Leaders who demonstrate emotional awareness create environments where respect, loyalty, and motivation emerge organically. Leading by example inspires behavior more powerfully than directives. Authentic leaders model the values, effort, and attitudes they expect from others, setting the standard for performance and conduct. Actions consistently reflecting principles, accountability, and diligence serve as proof of capability and create a culture where followers emulate integrity, discipline, and focus. Leading through action rather than words solidifies influence and reinforces credibility. Empowering others amplifies leadership effectiveness. supporting development, providing opportunities for growth, and acknowledging contributions demonstrate trust in the abilities of others. Leaders who elevate their teams, recognize achievements, and encourage autonomy build loyalty, engagement, and shared commitment. Empowerment creates an environment where respect is mutual, influence spreads naturally, and collective potential is realized. Resilience under pressure distinguishes authentic leaders. Challenges, setbacks, and criticism are inevitable, and the ability to maintain composure, clarity, and commitment to principle demonstrates strength. Resilient leaders inspire confidence by navigating difficulty without compromising values or vision. Their steadiness under strain reinforces credibility, encourages followership, and exemplifies the qualities required for sustained success. Continuous learning reinforces authenticity. Leaders who actively seek knowledge, skills, and feedback demonstrate humility, curiosity, and a commitment to improvement. Ongoing personal growth models adaptability, competence, and dedication, signaling that authority is earned through effort rather than assumed. A commitment to learning ensures that leadership remains effective, relevant, and grounded in insight rather than stagnation. Accountability reinforces integrity. Authentic leaders take full responsibility for decisions, actions, and outcomes. Admitting mistakes, addressing errors constructively, and implementing corrective measures demonstrates ownership and builds trust. Accountability signals reliability, moral clarity, and maturity, reinforcing respect and naturally increasing influence over others. Clarity of vision guides action and inspires engagement. Leaders who articulate clear goals, purpose, and expectations provide direction while aligning efforts with shared objectives. Vision without clarity creates confusion, while transparent objectives energize teams, focus effort, and establish a framework for consistent action. Leaders who convey a coherent direction inspire confidence and guide others toward meaningful achievement. Balance between confidence and humility enhances respect. Authentic leaders demonstrate certainty in their capabilities while acknowledging limitations and valuing contributions of others. Confidence provides decisiveness and direction, while humility encourages collaboration, openness to feedback, and receptivity to new ideas. This combination fosters respect, strengthens relationships, and ensures influence is rooted in competence and character rather than ego. Adaptability strengthens influence without compromising principle. Authentic leaders adjust strategies, approaches, or tactics to navigate changing circumstances while maintaining adherence to core values. Flexibility allows leaders to respond effectively to challenges, seize opportunities, and maintain momentum, ensuring that impact is sustained regardless of external conditions. Adaptable leaders inspire trust by demonstrating both resilience and practical intelligence. Communication that is direct, respectful, and purposeful reinforces authenticity. Clear articulation of expectations, feedback, and intentions reduces misunderstanding and fosters alignment. Leaders who speak with clarity, listen actively, and engage meaningfully demonstrate competence and empathy, strengthening influence and encouraging others to align with shared goals. Leading authentically requires a commitment to ethical influence. Respect is earned through integrity, competence, and consistent demonstration of principles rather than coercion or manipulation. Influence grows naturally when people observe fairness, reliability, and the ability to inspire through example. Ethical leadership ensures lasting impact while maintaining alignment with personal and organizational values. Cultivating trust underpins every aspect of authentic leadership. Trust is reinforced through consistency, transparency, accountability, and demonstrated competence. Leaders who earn trust create environments where engagement, collaboration, and initiative flourish. Influence expands as trust is reinforced by repeated demonstration of principle-based decision-making and reliable action. Self-reflection reinforces alignment between action and principle. Regular evaluation of decisions, behavior, and impact ensures that leadership remains authentic and effective. Reflection uncovers areas for improvement, highlights strengths, and enables adaptation without compromising integrity. Leaders who reflect actively demonstrate self-awareness, accountability, and a commitment to continual growth. Mentorship extends leadership influence, Sharing knowledge, guidance, and experience supports the development of others while reinforcing credibility and respect. Mentors who lead authentically create ripples of impact, strengthen the skills and confidence of others, and model the principles that sustain ethical and effective leadership. Mentorship ensures influence is both meaningful and lasting. Authentic leadership merges self-awareness, integrity, resilience, emotional intelligence, clarity of vision, and consistent action into a framework that inspires respect and generates natural influence. By leading with principle, modeling desired behavior, empowering others, and maintaining accountability, leaders create an environment where confidence, trust, and performance flourish. Influence arises not from position or title, but from the consistent demonstration of competence, character, and commitment to growth, producing impact that is both substantial and enduring.